Hey everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Multiverse, the DC Comics podcast from MailFuzz TV. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Matt.
Hey, what's up?
Carter's here too.
Yeah, just about.
Yes, looking very ghostly on the video version today. It's like
There's a white screen open ready for the news articles.
I wasn't really looking for an explanation. I was just going to go into a joke about you being a ghost and being a dead ginger or something like that. I don't know what I was doing, but it was going to be more lighthearted. And you just
I sound less dead than you do.
You just went really deadbeat and went. There's a white screen open for the news.
Because it's just an easy explanation, and you can just get over it.
No! This is episode 172 of the Comics Podcast. We talk about DC Comics on this show every week, as we do. And coming up on this week's show, we have Gotham City Monsters #1, Event Leviathan #4. Is it number 4 or is it number 5? Have I skipped a number somewhere?
Hold on.
I think it's 4.
Failed to move a number?
It's number 4.
I second guess myself. Right. No, don't never say that sentence. That sentence is the worst thing to say in the history of humanity.
If somebody's factually correct, it's kind of hard to disagree.
You just gloss over it. You just don't acknowledge it. It's fine. It's fine.
Jeez.
Easy peasy. Got Batman 78. We got Wonder Woman 78. We have The Flash 78. We have Young Justice #8. Batman and the Outsiders #5. Wonder Twins #7. Hawkman 16. And Riddler You're the Villain #1. So that's what's coming up on this week's show. But of course, we also had Solicits, so that'll be the bulk of the news and whatnot, which we'll get into soon. And I am getting over a cold or the flu, so apologies for any little noises that might come from me. I feel much better now.
You can tell in your voice it sounds ill still.
What's funny is when I actually felt terrible and had no energy and just couldn't do anything, I sounded okay. Like my voice was fine during that portion of the illness. But now that I feel generally pretty okay, my voice just sounds really weird.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
What? I don't even know. Matt's just sitting there with a smirk on his face. Carter's just sounding half dead. It looks like all dead, but he sounds half dead.
It was a long day at work.
I've had a long week. I've been miserable all week. I've been sick. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were like torture.
Yeah, but they were like ages ago.
I don't get sick, so when I do get sick, it's balls to the wall, off the rails. Can't handle stuff, so I feel you a little, Pete.
I don't think I do know. The opening of that little statement was I don't get sick, so when I do get sick...
Yeah. So normally it doesn't happen. Like my wife gets sick like 6 times a year. It's like once every other month. When I get sick, it's one time. That's when all illness leaves my body. Most of the time, I just feel broken down. Bad leg, bad hip. So that's where my back. So.
Is there any part of your body that does not feel bad right now, Matt?
My left ear. That's feeling great.
Left ear's feeling good. That's excellent news.
Yeah. Sometimes it itches.
I feel like Pete just thought about shouting into the left side of the mic.
Yeah.
I don't think my mic or Skype broadcasts it in stereo. I don't think...
probably doesn't, because Skype's terrible.
But, yes, maybe I should go to the left.
I mean, I wouldn't, but, whatever.
That sounded really desperate on Matt's part there.
Yeah, don't do that, please. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I have been binging news radio. I started it last Saturday. I started it after we recorded last week, because season 1's only 7 episodes, and I watched all 7 of those on Saturday night last week. And because I got ill and I was doing less stuff in the first half of the week, I got through all of season 2 and like a chunk of season 3. So
nice.
I'm deep into that.
Never seen an episode.
Me either.
And I love Phil Hartman and I like Joe Rogan, so it's weird. That's something I should be all over.
You probably should. It's pretty enjoyable. Yeah, I'd never seen it before either. It was recommended to me by a few people, including our very own Timothy Vargilis.
Yeah, but you always know, you don't know if he's messing with you or not.
That's
when
true.
he recommends something, you don't know until you actually watch it. You're like, oh, Tim. That's on me for believing him.
Yeah, do you know what? This week's episode of the Ace, or sci-fi movie podcast that I do with Tara, it was Terminator 3 was the movie, and yeah, it was a good conversation. It was one of our best episodes. It was like 2+ hours like going into that movie, which, by the way, if you have like vague memories of Terminator 3 because you've probably not watched it in 15 years, trust me, it's worse than you remember. But
is it worse than Genesis though?
It's not worse than Genesis, but I think it's not as... I think I always thought of it as being the best post-Terminator 2 Terminator film. No. I'm fairly certain Salvation's better than Terminator 3.
Because the thing with Salvation is, despite being directed by McG, it's not a very good Terminator movie, but it's still a pretty cool sci-fi movie. You know? Rise of the Machines, anytime it comes on TV, I can watch for like 5 minutes, and I'm just like, ugh. Even this Sean Connery annoys me. Yeah. That said, Dark Fate, the more trailer I see, I got the new trailer last week, I think, on the big screen. It makes me want to see it more.
Yeah, it looks annoyingly...
Not bad.
Yeah, it looks annoyingly. There's like some optimism for it, which I don't want because I've been burned multiple times. Yeah. But anyway, the point I was getting at is that as per usual on the Twitters, you post out the new episodes of the things we put up, and I'm like, oh hey, we did Terminator 3 this week. It was a good discussion, blah blah blah. And Tim responded to this on Twitter with, finally a good movie.
Oh, Timmy.
I don't understand sometimes.
It's one of those where sometimes he might be genuinely serious on that. Like there's just a small chance that he believes that.
I don't even know anymore. He's done his job of keeping me guessing.
You have to look into his eye. That's the only way you can tell.
But even then,
no, I don't know. Yeah.
I could tell. If I can look at his face as he's saying something, I could tell.
I was there when he asked Mario if it was true that they had moved the New York Comic Con to the head of the Statue of Liberty, and he said it with a straight face, and I couldn't even get through that with a straight face. So, yeah, I don't know. Timmy.
I thought the end of that joke was going to be like they've moved New York Comic Con to like New Jersey, but it's still called New York Comic Con.
No, but because when he said it, it sounded like he had real information that they moved it from one place to the other, and then he just drops the head of the Statue of Liberty, and you're just like, Tim, are you kidding? I can't tell. But yeah, he also last night I watched The Third Man. It's been sitting on my Netflix queue forever.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's decent. Like I think I've definitely seen better noirs. The score is what sticks out the most for me on that one. I'll play it on the zither. Does not match the tone of the movie, and I think that's why it works.
Yeah, although I was confused the first time I watched it because I was expecting Hulk Hogan.
There we go. But Tim made the joke. I've never heard of that superhero, The Third Man, and then it became I don't know if I could watch without seeing the first or second Man. Which now I hope he goes and watches First Man. It has nothing to do with Harry Lime or post-war Vienna.
Yeah, the question is then. So there is a movie called First Man, and there's the Third Man. Is there a movie called The Second Man that we can complete this weird trilogy?
If not, I guess you just have to make it.
Yep. So, but yeah.
What would it be about?
Huh? Oh, The Second Man?
Yeah, what would The Second Man be about?
It's a sports movie that's about the backup quarterback and how shenanigans ensue. Because he only took the job to not play the game.
Whoever always comes second after Usain Bolt.
That too.
The frustration of being the second best in the world, but never getting any recognition.
Second fastest man.
Yeah.
I'm convinced Usain Bolt taps into the Speed Force. It makes no sense otherwise.
It's true.
And wasn't he a converted soccer player? He grew up playing soccer, and they're like, "You're really fast. You should try to track."
Yeah. He still does the occasional charity match.
Yeah. And so, but I know track's big in Jamaica because I've listened to a couple of Malcolm Gladwell shows where they talk about track and whatnot and running. So I mean, I could have my story backwards, but I do
I know.
started playing.
I know track is big in Jamaica because the opening of Cool Runnings shows me that he's training for a track.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in years. And Disney had quite a run of sports movies in the 90s.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cool Runnings, Mighty Ducks, a nice little batch of them.
Angels in the Outfield, Air Bud. I'm counting that one.
I mean, sure. I'm
not
going to fight you on it. Never seen it.
I mean, the more those movies go, the crazier they get. Air Bud, of course.
Yeah, isn't there like Air Bud 7 or something like that? I'm sure.
Well, yeah, and he has puppies and they talk, and it's not definitely not the story of a boy that needs his dog, that was mistreated. So, but yeah, and now what's weird is Disney doesn't, they produce these sports movies and then they bury them. Like, it's been years, and I still have not seen $1 Million Arm, and I really want to watch it, but it's incredibly hard to find. So, yeah.
All right. Everyone knows how my week was. Connor, how was your week?
It was fine. I had friends around on Thursday night, and I was up drinking till like 4:30 in the morning, and then realized.
So a normal night for you.
So
it was a Thursday, is what you're saying? It was a Thursday.
Thursday.
No. Wait. What day did we used to Arrow on?
Friday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday, typically, I think.
Yeah. So not a Thursday. Not a typical Thursday, because I work every Friday. So,
did it ever occur to you that you could just hang out and not drink?
I could, but just had a few whiskeys, and then it just kept pouring. Didn't really think about it.
With friends like Connor's, though, I think you have to have the booze. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Again, I'm the guy that goes to a tiki bar and orders the Dole Whip, so I can't. I'm not one to judge.
I've been watching some more. I finished off Dragon Ball. Moved on to Dragon Ball Kai. Figured I'd go with Kai instead of the traditional Z, because Kai, if you're not familiar, is essentially a recut. They cut out all the filler and condensed it down quite significantly. It's probably about half the length overall. They reanimated it. No, I think it's about. I think it's just over 150 episodes, as opposed to the original 300.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. Only 20-minute episodes, to be fair.
I like the idea of Dragon Ball, but then I hear about there's a whole episode of one man walking, and I'm just like.
Yeah, that's got I looked into it. Snake Way, which is Goku had to walk along the Million Mile Road. In the original is depending on if you watch the sub or the dub, it's between 6 and 8 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe even longer. I'm not sure. On this, it starts in one episode and finishes in the next, and it just ignores all of it. It's great.
Yep, that's one fandom I'll never understand. I'm glad people like it, but
I'm not.
It's definitely not for me. I do get the over 9,000. I get that, but other than that,
it's become a pop culture staple, though, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it has. That's fine.
Yes.
I used to be a point in my life where that stuff used to irritate me because I wasn't into it, and then I was like, "Wow, that's a stupid way to go about things."
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I still don't like Batman for that reason, but still.
Well, that's Batman.
Yeah.
It was a bold choice to call their villain. Was it Vegemite as the villain? And,
Vegeta.
Yeah, but I thought Vegeta's isn't Vegeta an anti-hero?
Eventually, yes. He starts off as a villain.
Gotcha.
But he gets better as it goes on.
Oh, Batista. Batista's the villain in Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I do know there's a character that's essentially a genie. That's like a big pink blob.
Majin Buu.
There you go.
Yes.
So.
Good old Buu. That's BW for anyone interested.
Not the W. It's BUU.
No one was interested. No one wanted to know that.
Nope.
No
Pete,
one.
Well, are you done with Glow?
No, yeah, no. I've got a few episodes left.
I'm not enjoying this season.
No?
No.
Why?
I did love that episode you told me about. I think it was episode 5.
Yeah.
Where they all switch. That was fun. But this one it's not clicking with me.
That's odd. I've seen positive buzz online, so I'm curious to see how I feel about the last few.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm on episode 7, and I'm not. I don't know. It just feels like something's missing. So, I mean, I'm gonna finish it out. I just not timely.
Alright. Yes. I do enjoy intentionally getting anime names wrong just to upset people. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Connor's always trying to get me to watch Cowboy Seesaw or something like that. I don't know. I'm hilarious at times, you know.
It's just Jake Gyllenhaal on a seesaw.
I think you just killed Pete a little bit there.
Well, no, who's on the other side? Jake Gyllenhaal and.
Well, it would be Heath Ledger, but can't. He's just on one end waiting for his friend to show up.
Oh, because of Brokeback Mountain. I was wondering why he said Heath Ledger. I was like, why did he say Heath Ledger? You just dragged the tone down for no reason. I'm like, Brokeback.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway. Let's talk about Solicits. We have Solicits in news to talk about. December Solicits specifically. Before we get into this, I'll just do a couple of quick things before then. Batman Superman issue 4 is coming out a week earlier than planned. It's going to come out on November 20th. So, despite the fact that they moved issue 1 to week 4, and then it seemed like they were going to keep it there, issue 4 is now moving to week 3.
Which is not terrible for us.
No, week 3 has been a bit quieter traditionally, so sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Shan't complain. And then the other thing is that Wonder Woman 83, which was meant to be the second issue in November, has been pushed to December, and there is no issues solicited in December Solicits for December. And part of the reason for this, obviously, we know we're switching to single shipping anyway come next year, unless they've changed their mind about that. It's been a while since we heard about it, but
but they always said January, and this is new writer in November. Let's just start there, I guess.
Yeah. So apparently this is mainly to do because they're prepping the 750th issue of Wonder Woman, which will be January's number 84. So, they didn't really do much for 700. They had that variant cover, and that was about it.
Yeah, they did the same with Flash, didn't they?
And Batman and one other one. Superman for 800.
Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all the 800 and 700s those big characters were hitting at the same time, or more or less.
Within a couple of months of each other.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
it had to have been Batman 800 as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember pre-New 52, the Batman 700, they made a big deal about, and that was like a $8 book.
Yeah, it was Batman and Superman 800 and Wonder Woman and Flash 700 were the milestones that were hit.
So I guess we've got Flash 750 coming as well.
Yeah, that would be
soon.
Soon after.
Because they were around the same time, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were within a few months of each other, and if Flash is double shipping for 1 month longer or 2 months longer, then it should get there fairly quickly, unless they're just not doing anything for it.
Yeah,
it's possible.
That is what I appreciate about Marvel right now, is that they have the legacy number underneath. So Thor 16 was legacy number 725 or something like that.
I would be okay with it if they didn't feel the need to cheat with some of those numbers.
Well, yeah, but then King Thor that just came out this week is the next legacy number, even though it's its own miniseries.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's really goddamn annoying.
Yeah.
They did one in the middle of Avengers early on in the Aaron run. They did a 10-issue weekly thing, and so it was issued I'm not sure, it was between 7 and 8 Avengers. It just jumps up. The legacy number just jumps up by 10 because those 10 issues just.
Actually, I think it was worse than that. I think it was 16.
Was it that many?
I think it was that.
Because that's where that weird character came from, the lost character, right? There was that miniseries.
Yeah, because it was a sequel to the last big arc of the previous Avengers book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the one thing about DC's legacy numbering, whenever they sort of like whip those numbers out, is that I've actually checked in the past, and the ones I've checked have all worked out. They've
they
all
line
been
up
accurate.
with what you think should be correct.
Yeah, you just take the 4 or 5 big volumes, you just add the numbers together, and you get the same numbers they've got. So it's like there's no funny business.
They're not counting all these things that'll be like, yeah, this will all count.
Yeah. The most egregious one was Ultimate Spider-Man, where they got to issue 200, and no one even knows how. Because even if you add in all the annuals, you add in the miniseries and the event tie-ins, it still doesn't get to 200. But for some reason, they claim they hit 200. So...
madness.
Who knows? But let's go ahead to the proper solicits then. So we'll work through as we always do, and whatever order they've got them in, and we'll see what's here. First up, we have the first issue of a 4-issue event mini, which is tying into Year of the Villain, with James Tynion the fourth writing, Steve Epstein on art, which, I mean...
Yes, please.
That is very tempting.
At that point, I'm kind of there already, no matter what they say.
But are you sick of the Batman Who Laughs? Was it last week or the week before, we were talking about how they really need to have some time off before they bring him back again? And here we are in December, where... this is spinning right out of Batman Superman 5, apparently, or... Yeah,
I think it follows on from Justice League 38 and Batman Superman 5, which is the end of their respective arcs.
Oh, well, Batman Superman 5 I don't think's out yet. Is it? Oh,
I think it's out earlier in that month.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll get there later, presumably, then in the solicits. But, so this is a 4-issue mini, $5 book. And does not seem to be larger in size. It seems to be the regular page count. So unless there's less ads,
32 pages.
Yeah,
it could be less ads, but it could be just
we're switching.
They feel they can get away with it for event books now. Well, obviously Marvel are getting away with it with a lot more.
Yeah, but that's how Marvel started doing it. They started with just the events, and then it started to be issue ones, and then it started to be more and more.
DC are still behind. It is only a matter of time till they go up there, because it always was going to be. So just enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, hopefully they hold it as much as they can. But yeah, so this is Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, issue 1. So you're gonna get 4 of these.
Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled on who Batman Who Laughs Secret 6 are, don't look at this cover. That's all. Because it'd be pretty easy to skip solicits, but if you come across this cover, just don't click on it if you don't want to be spoiled.
Luckily,
it's got all 6 of them there.
Userama won't load it for me, but I can make out one of them though at the side.
Yeah. Well, we know about Shazam and we know about Supergirl from solicits before.
Yeah.
Couple others that I won't say, just in case.
No, there's
people
definitely
aren't
one
spoiled.
more that we knew about from last month's solicits, because they had a one shot.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a couple more one shots in here. One character was definitely a surprise, but if all of these characters came together as a team, non-infected, I would definitely read that book.
Oh, sure.
Because it's my kind of thing of these these different characters that normally don't associate get thrown together as a team. So
it's actually a quite gorgeous cover, because
it is. It's very nice.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. I'm tired of Batman Who Laughs. I want him gone. I hope this means this is the end.
There has been zero downtime almost between any of his like appearances in different series. Like,
well,
I think we had a couple of months after the end of Metal.
No, but that doesn't even count because they already announced the mini.
I know. Relatively speaking, it doesn't count. I'm just saying it was the longest we went.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we knew it was coming. We already knew the next time he was going to appear. So like he needs time off. We go a year without even knowing when he's coming next.
Or a couple.
Or a couple, yeah.
Who is the big bat god?
Barbatos?
Yeah, Barbatos.
Barbatos, yes, there you go.
Like if we got some shenanigans with Barbatos being like, foiled again, here, and we pluck another Batman Who Laughs out, But this same one keeps getting out, and it's very frustrating.
It feels like they hit something that had a cool look and people liked, and it's almost like WWE where they just have to run the idea into the ground by just overdoing it, immediately.
Yeah,
definitely.
He was in Justice League. He was in Batman I enjoyed that first issue so far, and this might even be really good. This little mini, but
The only thing I will give it the benefit of the doubt here is that it does seem to be an extension of, especially the Batman Superman stuff, where okay, we already accepted he's in Batman Superman. We already went over that. We're maybe not the happiest about it, but that's a fact. This is not necessarily a whole extra thing he's in. This is kind of an extension of that same story.
Well, no, you say that, but all that says to me is that their plans in general are just to keep him around forever. I mean, the next thing after this may be an extension of this story. Like,
yeah, my only thing with that is, like, if this was, like, him and Batman Superman worked for me because it was his presence. You can keep his presence. He came up and messed things up, right? And I want to see how characters react to that. But to have him keep, like, basically just be the main problem with Arkham Asylum is these guys keep getting out. But now it's on a grander level that Batman Who Laughs just keeps getting out. It's a problem, just story-wise.
You say it keeps getting out. How did the Batman Who Laughs mini end? Was he caught at the end of that?
Yeah, and they locked him up. Like they threw him at the bottom of the Hall of Justice. Right, Batman got him. So, and now he's seemingly out again, and I'm just like, can we not? What's going on here?
Also, because Tim said something to me this week, and I kind of echo this a little bit. Not to the extreme that he said it, but he saw James Tynion and he saw Steve Epting, and then saw Batman Who Laughs was involved and kind of lost a lot of his interest. And I'm still going to read it, I'm still going to try it, and it may still be great, but I have to admit, I was like, oh, those two in a book. Oh, it's Batman Who Laughs stuff again.
It went down a little bit for me, but I don't think near the extent of you guys, because I really I love Epting enough that, okay, I'm there.
I'm there for Batman Superman. Like, I wasn't here for that episode, but I gave it really high marks.
Yeah, you liked it a lot more than I
enjoyed it. Yeah, and so I'm here for this. I just, knowing that the Batman Who Laughs is here, I'm just kind of like, eh. But I trust Tynion. I trust Tynion more than Snyder at this point. So maybe it'll be a little bit different. Maybe the writing of Batman Who Laughs won't, want to make me jam stuff in my eyes.
All I'll say is, all the people who said they were sick of seeing the Joker too often, this is your fault. Because all they've done is swap the Joker for Batman Joker. You're welcome.
They gave him Batman ears. It's still the Joker.
Anyway, so we get more Year of the Villain one-shots. We have Harley Quinn Year of the Villain issue 1 by Mark Russell with art by Mike Norton. That is, like all the other ones, $5, 40 pages, bigger book. So that's coming out. And then we also have Ocean Master Year of the Villain issue 1, written by Dan Waters with art by Miguel Medoncha. Yes, Dan Waters is writing Ocean Master. Yes,
Ocean Master.
Very funny.
That Harley
to be
one.
Fair, it's 2 T's, so it could be Waters. Not,
True.
But I just read Ocean Master, so
phonetically.
Yeah, Waters.
I know.
Was what I had in my head. So
that Harley one looked to me like it was an Amanda Conner Palmiotti, right? Just based off of the cover.
It's Amanda Conner cover.
Right, and I wanted to skip it, but then I saw Mark Russell, and I'm like, oh, now I'm more interested.
Yeah, he seems to be doing one of these a month, because he had, Riddler this week. He had last month.
Sinestro.
It's kind of an ongoing gig, even though they're unrelated, kind of.
He's really good. He's really good at these one-off stories. So I'll probably check it out.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Lolo Woods. This is a Black Label book. Is this one of the Joe Hill horror?
It sounds like one of the Joe Hill books, but I don't remember this one being in the announcement.
Yeah, this is the one in Shudder to Think, Pennsylvania. It's been on fire. We said it was like Silent Hill.
Right, okay.
Okay. We talked about it. And this is DC and Hill House Comics present. So... Yeah.
When Elle and Octavia wake up in a movie theater with no memory of the last few hours of their lives, the two teenage dirtbags begin a teenage dirtbag baby.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Begin a surreal and terrifying journey to discover the truth about the strange town they call home. Okay, all right. So that is a 6-issue mini. So that's starting.
What was interesting to me there is it doesn't mention the backup that was ongoing through the other two.
No, but this is a mini. This is one of 6.
They're all minis, I think.
Sure.
I thought they were all minis.
Yeah, they're all minis.
Oh shoot!
It just may not be every single.
Yeah.
You
This comes out on the 18th, so.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to plot all these out.
So.
The Hill House books.
And then next up we got, oh god, it's this one. The The Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child, Issue 1. Written by Frank Miller with art and cover by Raphael Grampa.
Hey, at least he's not drawing it.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Here, I'm going to read this. This is obviously a follow up. This is Black Label. It's a one shot. Admittedly, it's not a series. $6, 48 pages.
It's respectably priced.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, the price is fine for what it is. I mean, quality, of course, is an all debate, but
Sure, but there were a lot of people who really liked the Dark Knight 3, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it's been 3 years since the events of Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. Lara has spent the time learning to be more human, and Carrie Kelly has been growing into her new role as Batwoman. But after terrifying evil is returned to Gotham City, Lara and Carrie must Lara and Carrie is a weird pair of names to say back to back together.
Yeah.
They must team up to stop this growing threat, and they have a secret weapon. Young Jonathan Kent, the Golden Child, has a power inside him unlike anything the world has ever seen, and it's about to be unleashed. So he's bringing John Kent into.
Yeah, from what I've read, John Kent was in the Master Race as a baby, because Lara is his older sister, and they are the kids of Superman and Wonder Woman.
I just like that the artist's last name is Grandpa. And I know people are excited over it. I don't. If the art looks like it does on the cover, I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a personal
not
taste thing.
Huge fan, but people seem to be a big fan of his art. Yeah, people are getting really excited by that, and I don't know. I don't see it personally.
Nope.
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say none of us want to try this, especially since it's a follow-up to the last one, which none of us read. So
I haven't read
hard
the
pass.
I read the first issue of Dark Knight Strikes Again and didn't continue with it.
It's banana pants crazy. I've heard Grant Morrison justify it because of the headspace Miller was in and whatnot post 9/11. Yeah, it still doesn't make me want to read it.
Let's get to some more exciting news. I have to play a little sound clip here. I have to get a little sound clip for this bit.
Get it.
Tom Taylor.
Because we do have the announcement this week, the official reveal of what Tom Taylor's doing. It was a Suicide Squad book. It is Suicide Squad issue 1. Tom Taylor writing with Bruno Redondo on the art.
Yep.
I will read you the description. Issue 1 here is a $5 book, but it is bigger. It's a 40-page issue 1.
40-page.
So
yes,
it is bigger. So here's the description here. Let's list it. Task Force X, nicknamed the Suicide Squad, unites some of the DCU's unlikeliest villains for its bloodiest series yet. The squad's new mission is to neutralize a new group of international super terrorists known as the Revolutionaries, and not everyone on either side will make it out alive. But when the US government's most deniable team of do-betters, come on, do better, realizes that the surviving revolutionaries will be joining the squad, all hell breaks loose. Who can Harley Quinn and Deadshot trust when their new teammates are the very people their crew is assigned to kill? The Suicide Squad doesn't just need to worry about surviving their next mission, now they have to survive each other. The acclaimed and just as creative team of Tom Taylor and artist Bruno Redondo reunite for their wildest incarnation of the squad ever seen. And this is in continuity, which is cool because Taylor's not been doing a bunch of that recently.
He's been he gave a nice big interview when they announced this.
Yep.
I know he said issue 2 is basically a whole new issue 1 because that's how much things are just fluid in this book. He said he can't even promise that Amanda Waller is alive at the end of the first issue. So no one is safe.
I love it.
And he also said, because there's a lot of new characters he's been showing off. You have Thylacine.
Yeah, presumably they're part of the Revolutionaries.
I have to imagine, though, for the sake of surprising us, that he won't just kill all them off first, because that'd be an easy thing to do.
And that's what he said. He goes, wait a minute. Why would I kill the new characters that we barely get to know when I have all of the DC Comics ones that I can kill off? So he's, and
I feel like he's become a name enough that he has some sway to kill, probably not Harley or Deadshot, admittedly.
Yeah.
Some of the
I would say. So I'm trying to look up these other ones, and I can't find the article now. But he has someone called Zebra Man there that he just added because he wanted Zebra Man on the team.
King Shark's there.
How'd you do?
King Shark's still there. I can't remember her name. I know she steals things. That's like her thing. No, she's a bird themed character.
Magpie.
Magpie. Thank you. And I just know that because magpies they steal coins and shiny objects for their
I
nests.
like Magpie. Magpie's a
Yeah,
fun
well,
little character.
and so does he. And when he said, I chose Magpie for this opening team because of how she relates to Superman and Batman and whatnot, I was like, oh man, he's really put some thought. It's not just
Wait, you're telling
Superman
me
because he wanted him.
you're telling me it's possible to like Tom Taylor more than I already did?
Yeah, right? It's weird.
What I'll say
Again,
is that I typically would not get super excited about a Suicide Squad book, but Tom Taylor's a name to kind of go, well...
I think that's saying none of us would traditionally be that excited.
Well, no,
by it. It's just, I'm always open to trying one, but they've mostly disappointed. There was like a 4-issue run in the New 52 by Cott that was pretty good.
Yeah. Taylor Scott,
yeah.
And for the record, I've never read Ostrander's original, 80s.
No, I was talking to Talking Superman when this got announced, and I just feel like the concept of Suicide Squad is great, where you get these characters thrown together and they have to learn to be a team. But I just feel like the best to ever do that was Gail Simone in Secret Six, not that first incarnation. And I get that, Secret Six there. I don't need it from Suicide Squad. And I just feel like if you're going to do the government Black Ops things, that's what Checkmate's for. Or,
To be fair, by all accounts, given that Event Leviathan is planning on, things being completely shaken up by the end of it, if not already, I don't know. You guys can talk about that in a bit. Maybe it won't be as traditional as it has been before.
Well, no, but I just mean, that's why I've never been into Suicide Squad. I can get that stuff other places. And just anytime I've read it, when it relaunched the New 52, I read the first year's worth, and it was fine. It just never was, but no, this is definitely something I'm going to check out because of who's involved. And it reunites him with Bruno Redondo from the video game Injustice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, notably, week 3, which...
Yeah.
Joe, on that note,
yes.
We should point out there is no books publishing the week of Christmas this year. I think they did that last year as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there were only, three publishing weeks in December this year.
So is there...
There's a 5th Wednesday in January.
Yeah.
So we're just going to get, week 4 on the first week of January again next year.
I would suspect so. And I know there's at least a couple of things in here that are scheduled for that first week of January.
Yeah. Well, Christmas Day falls on a Wednesday this year. So last year was on a Tuesday, so that messed with shipping as well. So they're just not going to...
They're just not bothering,
Yeah, that's fair enough. It gives us another easier time to do our awards episode, because it means we have a week with no books. So, easy peasy. But next up, we have a couple of one-shots, and I know some people aren't happy about these. Donna Troy fans are heartbroken right now. They've been waiting for Donna Troy material, and they get a one-shot where
all 3 of you guys. I mean, it's fine.
Donna Troy has fans.
She's a cool character.
I see them around on Twitter. But she's been infected. It's tying into the Batman Who Laughs stuff that's going on. We have the Infected Deathbringer issue 1, which is Donna Troy. It's written by Zoe Quinn, art by Ben Oliver. So that is the one shot, and then the other one's the Infected, the Commissioner, written by Paul Jenkins and art by Jark Herbert. And this is Commissioner Gordon who's been infected. So,
which we knew that one from the end of Batman Who Laughs. If people read that.
I didn't, but thank you.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So,
not particularly caring about either of these, really.
This is a thing where if we get to this point and we've read 2 or 3 issues of Batman Superman, I'm into that story, I'm much more likely to try these.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I often feel these tie-ins, it's very rare they feel that they're actually necessary. So.
Yeah. Although when we get to the Shazam one that's coming out sooner.
Yeah, and that's November, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check. Well, we'll see. Because if they're just remember when they did those wedding issues for Batman? And they had absolutely nothing
I
to do.
read every single one of those, and even though...
Me too, Pete.
I think one of them was enjoyable. There was 1 or 2 earlier.
I made a sensible call.
The Damien one was nice.
Yeah, but they were utterly meaningless and were irrelevant to everything. It was
and that
shocking.
was before we knew what was going to happen in the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Next up, I love the title. I love the title of this next one, guys.
Of course you do.
Because
go on, do your voice.
I happen to love the movie that this is got the same title as. This next one's called New Year's Evil issue 1. This is their Christmas one shot for the year. Their big 80-page, $10 anthology book, and of course, Evil.
Guys, if you haven't seen New Year's Evil, go track it down. It's delightfully 80s.
Yes, I believe it's on Shudder if you happen to have that, and may even be on Prime. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I watched it last October before I moved.
The opening of the Solicit of this, though, if you read it in Hamill's Joker voice, is excellent.
Yes.
I can't do his voice out loud, but
no,
but internally.
Yeah.
Okay, oh yeah. Why, hello there, readers. It's your Uncle Joker letting you know that this year's DC Winter Holiday Special is not for the good guys. It's all about the folks in Santa's naughty list. So they're kind of tying it into the year, not tying it in, but they're kind of going with the theme of Year of the Villain by having it be all the villains.
It's a good excuse anyway for an the end of year anthology.
Well,
why not?
Last year's was weirder. Last year's was a post-apocalyptic Christmas, if you recall.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, and there was like the one good one.
Yeah, the Tom Taylor Supergirl story was phenomenal.
I'm shocked. Yeah, that was fantastic, actually.
Yeah, that was really good. So, next up, we get an Our Tales from the Dark Multiverse one-shot, The Judas Contract, written by Kel Higgins and Matt Groom, with art by Tom Rainey. $6.
Weeks.
I'm trying to see if it says what's different in it.
48 pages.
Terra.
Well, yeah,
Terra's betrayal starts not with the Teen Titans, but with Deathstroke. So she betrays Deathstroke instead of the Titan.
Yep. Immediately, and ends up with the Deathstroke serum.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
Yeah, I want to read this.
That's like, I know a lot of these kind of sound right. They're just another one of these, but a lot of them have fun little premises of what they're twisting that sound like that could be interesting enough.
They definitely became the what ifs, like Marvel used to have the what ifs. This is DC's now, and that's what I like about the Dark Multiverse is we can have these one shots.
It gives them an excuse to do what ifs and kind of make them in continuity.
Well, yeah, because when you saddled it to 52 Earths instead of infinite Earths, you're limited to what you can do because you have to fit them into those 52 Earths. But now the Dark Multiverses, these worlds never really existed.
Yeah, there's 52 stable Earths and then infinite possibilities, so we can have all this fun stuff as well. It's great.
Yep, I like it.
So we've got all the giants they do that don't really have any information that always in the solicits. Then the next thing, we have a new Black Label book, Wonder Woman Dead Earth issue 1, which is coming out in December. It's a 4-issue book, prestige format, 48 pages, $7 per issue. It does not mention bi-monthly anywhere, does it, or anything like that? No, I think it's just monthly.
I think it's just a one shot.
No, it's
it's 104.
104.
It's 104.
Yeah, but it's only 48 pages as opposed to some of the other ones that have been bi-monthly that have been even bigger than that.
I still imagine the artist, it's the same writer artist as Daniel Warren Johnson, who's done everything.
Yeah.
I imagine he had some lead time in this there. If he's
probably a considerable amount.
Yeah. So here we go. The celebrated creator of Murder Falcon and Extremity and artist of the Ghost Fleet, Daniel Warren Johnson, brings his bold sci-fi chops to his DC debut with a harrowing vision of Wonder Woman unlike anything you've ever seen. Princess Diana of Themyscira left the paradise to save man's world from itself. When Wonder Woman awakens from a centuries-long sleep to discover Earth has been reduced to a nuclear wasteland, she knows she's failed. Trapped alone in a grim future, Diana must protect the last human city from titanic monsters while uncovering its secrets of the dead Earth and how she may be responsible.
That's why you don't take a nap on the job.
I'm not going to lie, I love the sound of this.
No.
I'm into this.
I am too, and there's a lot of really nice art in the previews.
Oh.
When they announced it, I think it's quite nice.
I will have to have a look at that later, but I'll definitely give this a try, see how it is. All of a sudden, though, that week 3 is starting to look quite busy for a week 3.
Yep.
Stacked.
But hey ho. So, yeah, that's Wonder Woman Dead Earth, issue 1, coming out in December. And then, next up, we have one of the a few of the graphic novels. We get Batman Tales Once Upon a Time. This is the Derek...
Once Upon a Crime.
Once Upon a Crime, sorry. I did the autopilot thing. Derek Friedolfs is writing with Dustin Nguyen on art. And then we have Shadow of the Batgirl, which is by Sarah Kuhn and art by Nicole Gu.
I believe the Batman Tales one, that's the Lil Gotham team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
it
they're all
probably
fairy
feels
tale.
more like that.
And then third one here, we have Zatanna and the House of Secrets, written by Matthew Cody and art by Yoshitani. So there you go. A few of those young adult and kids graphic novels.
Mm-hmm.
So those are out. And then we get to the regular issues for the month, so we can get through these a little bit quicker. We get Action Comics 1018.
Yeah, that one's actually 1st of January. So that one's one of those that I assume is typically a week 4 book.
Yeah, so they'll just soliciting it with them this time, as opposed to just leaving them all missing like they did last year.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. Yes, art by John Romita Jr. is not a pleasant sight in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, we're still going to read it because it's still a Bendis' run, but brace yourself, Matt.
I'm not happy.
We get
I have
Aquaman.
Young Justice and the Justice League, and it's drawn by JR.
I'm happy.
Aquaman 55, still Kelly Sue, that's going strong.
Mecha Beta.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mecha Mana. We got Batgirl 42, written by Cecil Castellucci, still. So that's still going. That's a January book, January 1st.
That Dotson's cover, and it's all purple with the snow coming down.
Oh yeah.
That's background quality. Like
I'm getting that. Oh, that is real nice.
Yeah, right.
We got Batman 84 and 85, of course. They have Matina covers, so always.
85 is King's last issue as well. So it's extra sized.
$5 for 8 pages. Yep.
Yep.
So that should be a big deal.
The only thing I will say is just almost not worth mentioning, but there's no final issue, so they're not relaunching it with a new number one. New team will be presumably taking over 86.
Yeah, that's a good point. Next month we're going to find out who that is.
Yeah.
Maybe even later this month. They might announce it early.
We'll know within a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Got Batman Beyond 39. We have Batman Curse of the White Knight, issue 5. Keeping in mind that's 5 of 8. There's 8 issues of that total.
And also, I don't think that counts the extra one-shot we had last month, the Mr. Freeze one.
That's true, because we got that instead of like a regular issue, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It'll be 9 by the time it's all done.
Yeah, The Batman's Grave, issue 3, that's the Warren Ellis maxi series that's not started yet. That's coming out. Got Batman the Outsiders, issue 8. We have Batman Superman, issue 5, which is actually out the same day as those, as that new mini from Tiny. Yeah. So it's the same day.
So obviously read that first.
Yes, read that first.
And then Hellraiser. Yep.
We get Catwoman 18, Joelle Jones, still going strong. I honestly thought this book would have been cancelled before it got to 18.
Yeah,
I'm surprised this isn't the last issue as well, given that Batcat will be starting the following month.
Yeah, and the stuff that's happening in this sounds super interesting, and it, I like the Creel story. It was, the inconsistent art and whatnot that killed me on that book, but I might have to check this back out.
Yeah, go for it. If you tell me good things, I might even.
Yeah, I might. Yeah. So we'll see.
And then notably, kind of a end of an era here, Deathstroke issue 50 is going to be oversized, but it is also the final issue of the series and the final of Christopher Priest's run. So,
yeah,
that's quite notable.
Yeah,
so that's coming.
I fell behind in the late 30s. I think I got up to.
Yeah,
maybe early 40s. Not sure. I keep checking out every so often, but I will probably end up doing a kind of big reread of the whole thing in the run up to 50.
The continuity nerd in me is very upset by this, that they just didn't let it go to 52.
Yeah.
I get it. Here's something very notable, actually. We will all be reading an issue of Detective Comics in December.
Yes, we will.
Because the December 11th issue, which is 1017, is written by none other than, where's my button?
Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor is writing an issue of Detective Comics, and if this is a prelude in any way, like, imagine they announced next month that he's writing Batman, and this was like a little tester issue that he did the month before.
Don't do that to me.
They totally could.
I told my friend that I'd probably stop collecting Batman after Tom King's done.
But if they put Taylor on it.
But if they put Taylor, I'm gonna have to keep collecting it.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm still gonna read it. That's what digital's for, right? But I don't have the space. But if Tom Taylor's doing it, I'm like,
yeah, I've been reading King stuff digitally. If Taylor's on it, well, might have to start switching.
Joe's just funny about Matt cracking a joke there about having no space. Is Tim tweeted today because Tim's moving house today, and. Remember last year when Matt was moving, how he kept complaining that he had to cut back on physical comics because as soon as he had to move, they became this burden, this pain to move around. Tim today was complaining that he never wanted to sell all his comics, but 5 minutes into moving stuff from his house, was like, okay, I'm going to sell them all. They're all going.
Yeah. I mean, that's my comics when I moved the first time from my apartment into the house we were living in. My comics were the first thing to go. And then after living there for 5 years, my collection just kept growing. So it was the last thing that got moved this time. And I'll tell you what, by the end of it, I was feeling like Tim. They all got to go. Who wants them?
Yeah.
I can respect. I'm dreading having to move and just lugging it all. I just look at my shelf and go.
You know what's great about digital? They all fit in here.
Yeah, but
they do, but it's not as good a reading experience.
Although I will say this,
it's not.
As someone who has collected movies, the great thing about Blu-rays, DVDs, and 4K whatever is that they are actually incredibly light. So even though I have like over 1,000, they're not actually that heavy to move around.
No.
Yeah, but that's the thing that you go, oh, a comic, it's just a little bit of paper. It's not that, it's 20 pages. It's not that heavy. And then you stack 100 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Once you pick up a short box or a long box, you feel, oh, this is actually quite heavy now.
Yeah. A full long box is a 2-person job.
Yeah, because even a short box.
Especially if you're going down like stairs.
Because I feel a short box is quite heavy on its own, so a long box is just like worse.
Yeah. And this is why my back hurts because I'm myself because it's like I got this.
I mean, let's be honest. A long box of comics is basically a tree again. It's a tree trunk. That's what you're carrying.
But Pete, your people are known for tossing trees like they're nothing.
Well, yes. I mean, clearly I'd be better at this than you, but like, it's in my blood.
I'm just saying.
Some caber tossing, yes.
I've always wanted to do the caber toss. Just it looks like something I would enjoy.
I'm sorry to say I've never caber tossed. Maybe I should go north and get some lessons.
Yeah, definitely. Go into the Highlands.
Teach me your ways. So yeah, I'll read the description because clearly it's going to be a one shot. Because it's just Taylor doing one issue. So the dead of winter, a child has gone missing from the Martha Wayne orphanage in Gotham City, and the bearer of the Wayne family's name is on the case. But to solve this mystery, Batman must turn to another bearer of the Wayne family name, his estranged son Damian, to hit the night skies as Batman and Robin once more. Can father and son put aside their differences to rescue the missing Miguel Flores? And what if the other dark turn in the story for the duo, or what other dark turns are in the story for the duo as they journey in tonight? Don't miss a special guest tale by guest writer Tom Taylor. So, it's a sort of Christmassy set, child kidnapping. That's
well, it's Tom Taylor, so it's probably going to punch your heart out.
Yeah, it's probably going to be great.
And phenomenal Middleton variant.
And then there's Detective 1018, which no one cares about, but 1017. That's the one to pay attention to.
The only thing worth mentioning, I think worth mentioning about 1018 is that it's a follow-up to City of Bane.
Oh, really? Interesting.
At least tangentially.
Okay, cool. More exciting than that, though. Doomsday Clock, issue 12, has been solicited for the 18th of December 2019, meaning that if it pushes back just once, it will get knocked out in 2020.
Year. Yeah. One delay is all this is going to take.
However, I mean, Frank was saying on Twitter that he thought he might even get it out in November, so I think this is them for the first time, and I'm scared to say this because every time I try and give them credit for maybe thinking wisely when they solicit things, they always prove me wrong. But I feel like they are picking a wise date that they know they can hit just so they can actually be accurate with their solicit.
I think they think that. I think something will still go wrong, and this is 2020.
No, this is it. This is the last comic delivery date of the year. They're getting it done. So,
also, both the covers are phenomenal.
Pick one of those covers. I dare you.
You can't. how am I going to go into my shop and go, right, give me that one?
Yeah.
We're gonna get both.
Well, I'm going to go with the Superman S cover, but the angry Superman red eyes. You know that's one of my favorite tropes.
Do you know what's so weird? Because of the gaps between issues, is that this is one of the only times where we just read the previous issue before the next one was solicited. That doesn't usually happen.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
But hey.
Weird.
So, yep. Man. But man, I mean, Doomsday Clock's been the highlight for the past 2 years of reading DC, so this is quite a big thing.
We're gonna get to the end of that and go, right, well, what now?
December actually does feel like the end of an era in a lot of ways, because King's ending his Batman. I mean, he's still doing Batman Catwoman, but he's ending
on Batman.
On Batman.
Yeah.
Deathstroke, one of the last survivors of those early books, is ending, and Doomsday Clock's ending. It does feel kind of like a big sort of shift.
And we got the Legion back, Connor Kent's back, like the JSA's back.
Sure, but that's more just over the back half of this year, whereas that's specifically December.
But starting, well, yeah, but I'm looking at...
Well, Clark Kent's been back since January, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but still, like, just the fact that it's... Rebirth, I feel, we're done with that era, and now we're in the Justice Doom era. And, like, once Doomsday Clock comes out, that'll solidify that. Once that's all said and done.
Nice go. Just start to creep in there.
The universe disagreed with whatever Matt was chatting about.
Yeah, well, the universe can suck it.
Brainiac was disagreeing, I think you'll find. So we got the Flash 84 and 85.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It's a rogue story, this arc that they're on, part 3 and 4. Cool. Flash Forward issue 4, Scott Lobdell's Reign of Terror is not over yet.
Yup.
Genlock issue 2. And I'm trying desperately to remember what the Genlock...
It's one of the Rooster Teeth.
Okay. Alright. That's fair.
You can skip it.
We got Gotham City Monsters issue 4. We got Green Lantern Black Stars issue 2. That's the Grant Morrison sort of side thing.
It's the not season 2. It's season 1.5 of Green Lantern.
It's the interlude between two seasons of his Green Lantern.
I'm mad.
Why?
Do you see who's on the art?
Oh, Zermanico.
No, Zermanico's on all 3 issues. Because it's only 3 issues.
Probably give Liam Sharp a bit of lead time on the next batch, I imagine.
Pretty much, because he's not taking an issue off in the first 12. So instead of just coming back with 13, it's right, give you a few months off, come back for the new book.
Yeah. Harley Quinn 68 and 69, although 69 is the start of January, but that hasn't been double shipping though recently, has it?
Not that I know of.
I don't think it
Honestly,
was.
I have no idea. That said, it's at 69, so it must have double shipped for at least a while.
Oh no, it did at one point, but I mean recently I don't think it had been double shipping, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just making that up.
Nice.
But yes. Yeah, Matt's giggling at 69. Yes. Harley Quinn's got a 69 issue. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy issue 4. This is the Jodie Hauser miniseries, which we tried last week. Hawkman 19. Venditti still cooking.
Yeah, and Hawkwoman's back in that issue, so that'll be a relatively big issue for this book.
Yeah. Is that a nice cover I see there of Hawkman?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. It has tended to have a lot of good covers.
I only have the little previews on Newsarama. They don't work when I click them for some reason. It's been a dick this week.
Yeah, mine there's quite a lag. Yeah, that's a Panosian cover, I think. You're talking about the looks like sepia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got that. Tim Seeley's still doing his He-Man and the Masters of the Universe mini that's going on. Actually, not even a mini. I apologize. Oh, that's a mini. Sorry, I was going to correct myself there, but I was right.
2/6.
Inferior 5 issue 4. This is the sequel to Invasion,
which starts, I think, like next week.
Yeah. So we could try that next week. We got also issue 5. That's interesting. It's almost like even though week 1 of January is counting as week 4, it sounds like, at least with Inferior 5, because that's definitely not been double shipping, it sounds like it's just moving for its following week. Or its following month, rather.
Well, that's said, because it's on week 1 already. So that's, I mean, I know that's kind of week 4 in the context of this December's week 4.
If that one's not moving, it's definitely part 5, because, you know what I mean? So I just counted them. So from October or September to January.
Yeah. I wonder if they're doing a bit of both with that week 1 of January, like that 1st of January, if some of the books are week 4's books, but they're also putting us a few week 1 books as well, just to give us a hellish week.
Just to spread them out a little bit, I guess, yeah. Then we got Joker Kill a Smile, issue 2. This is the Black Label Jeff Lemire Joker book. Issue 2 of 3. $6. Prestige. Although the page count's actually normal for some.
Yeah. But it's one of those bigger
Different
books,
sizes, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and Sorrentino's art is going to shine on that
Yep.
size.
Oh yes, I bet you can't wait. We got Joker Harley Criminal Sanity issue 3, another Black Label book. This is issue 3 of 9. I can't believe there's a 9-issue series that's 40 pages per issue at $6 a book.
Yeah.
Cami Garcia's putting in work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or more so, the artist.
I hope that one's good.
Yeah. It's got a Martina cover as well, which I always enjoy.
There is 2 artists on that. I wonder if it's like one's handling a Joker section and one's handling a Harley section. So maybe it only works out at they're doing like 1 book per month each. I have no idea.
So we got that. We got Justice League 37 and Justice League 38.
Yeah, and 38's the big one that leads into the event.
Yeah, it's the
And that
finale.
cover-
It's the finale of Justice Doom More, which for the record is part 9. So it's a 9-part. Justice Doom More is a 9-part story.
It's going to make for a healthy trade.
It will
It
do
is.
indeed. Unless they're idiots and split it up. And
I don't think they will. They were pretty good with the Flash at the start of Rebirth when that had like a 9-part first book.
Yeah. I think they just realized they collect the story, not the numbers. Right?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
So if the story is 9, they'll just do 9. And you won't get any extras.
Yeah, pretty much. Seems like a fair trade-off to me.
I think so too. Oh, Just League Dark though.
Yeah.
Justice League Dark is next, number 18.
Oh boy.
I know. Matt was so excited. I know he wasn't here
Yes.
to talk about it,
No.
but he told me how excited he was when he got to that last page.
Yeah.
To the point where I went, right, well, I have to go and read this right now because I need to know. And it was good.
I don't know what it is about Eclipse though, but there's something about that character I love. So, I mean, remember how I was when we got to there in Justice League Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. No,
Justice League Dark.
Tim's just sending us photos of his future podcasting room. It's just an empty room right now.
Ooh,
But
I'm excited.
yeah, we're actually still recording 3 episodes of Screams tomorrow because he's not actually living in the new place yet. Like,
No, not yet. Oh, that's very nice.
But he's moving a lot of stuff over there today.
Yeah.
Hence the stories of his back and
Uh,
comics.
when we went to Galaxy's Edge with them, Melissa was telling me about the new house, and it's actually super old and whatnot, and Tim's hoping it's haunted. So.
Of course he is. You know that scene in Ghostbusters where Dan Aykroyd like fantasizes about a ghost having sex with him? I think Tim like the poor wife is just going to wake up in the middle of the night and just see Tim like, yes, Casper, yes.
You act like he doesn't do that now.
Draw me like one of your Brahms, yes.
Your palms. Oh my god, we've almost watched The Boy like 3 times, and I always bring up Pete's,
I never want to see it. Not because I think it's as bad as Pete says, although it probably is, but because I don't want to ruin the image in my head.
Yeah, me neither, and that's why I haven't. Part of me is like, well, if Pete hates it and Tim loves it, I gotta know if this is just a Tim thing to annoy Pete. But then I'm just like,
I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. It's like a 4 out of 10, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes that's worse than a 1 out of 10.
Sure.
But it's like, it's one of those things where, but if I watch it, then I know. It's like Schrodinger's cat, right? It's both alive and dead. This is like, it's both terrible and not terrible right now, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, it's good for Timmy.
Yeah.
In this haunted house.
And
As far as I'm concerned, it's haunted now. Like, that's just it.
Yeah. So, Justice League Odyssey 16 is the thing.
Still not a final issue.
Hey,
Yeah.
do we want to talk about Jessica Cruz right now, real quick?
Do we have to?
Okay,
No.
so I mean, I guess spoilers for Justice League Odyssey. What's happened recently? Because Matt informed us during the week.
I found out what happened. So Jessica Cruz died. We'd heard about this just because we're like, well, that's kind of weird. No, they didn't make a big deal about her death, except she's not actually dead. She took a Dark Side Omega sanction, right, and it destroyed her ring, and so and her power battery and whatnot, and it dusted her, but somehow she still had remains. someone uses the opposite of the Omega. So I imagine the Omega Force is like the Force in Star Wars, right? Where there's a light side and a dark side, and it's all how you use it. So they use the opposite of the Omega side, and they revive her because I guess her brain downloaded a copy or something. I'm not 100% sure. But through the power of will and the Omega, it has reformed her, and now she has dark side-esque abilities.
Yeah, it does. It kind of mentions in this, solicit, there's a newly empowered godlike dark side. But it's Jessica Cruz and her new Justice League Odyssey squad. So I don't know where the rest of them are gone, but she has a new team.
Well, so that's how she ended up dying, was dark side possessed or influenced, corrupted. Cyborg and Azrael and Starfire.
Are they gone from the book now?
No, I maybe, I don't know, but she ends up teaming up with this other group. I read the entire Newsarama article.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
so,
I hate the sound of all this.
Me too, and I'm upset because I like Jessica Cruz and I like Starfire, and they're relegated to this BS, and just man,
Starfire's always shafted into somewhere else.
She is.
Sucks.
Legion of Superheroes issue 2 coming December.
Very exciting.
Yeah, continuing. Lois Lane issue 6 is there. 7's also been solicited for the start of January, so that's another one that's getting that kind of bump back into week 1 again.
7 actually kind of spoils the Superman solicit a little bit and tells you what the big event in Superman 18 is. That seems to be, I mean, if we take them at their word, is going to be a pretty big shift for Superman.
Yeah, to be fair, looking at it though, it kind of makes sense that it's going there, given what's been going on in Lois specifically.
Yep. Yeah.
In the Lois book, I can see that.
Yeah, it makes sense why it's kind of heading in that direction. So we won't say it for now if you want to avoid solicits and whatnot,
but there are already headlines about it, so I mean you've probably seen it anyway.
That variant for 7-2 is like my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, and I will say I like the idea of how it sounds like it's going to happen here versus how it's happened in the past. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the events of Event Leviathan, which we'll get to because a big reveal happens in there. I forgot how close Bendis and Rafa are. So the fact like that Rucka is going to deal with a fallout from something that happens in Bendis's book just shows that those guys work together well. And this is more proof of that.
So, Martian Manhunter issue 11. So that's almost done in December. Just one more in January to go. Metal Men issue 3, Dan Didio book mini, or it's not mini, sorry, maxi. 12 issues. Issue 3, that's out.
Did you read the solicit?
For Metal Men?
Oh, holy crap! This sounds amazing. Pete, you're gonna love it.
I'm going to read it. I've not read it yet. I'll read it just now. You get my live reaction. In this issue, it's Kaiju versus Giant Robot versus the Metal Men. Okay, hello. After killing off one of the Metal Men, Nth Metal gets placed into a holding cell at a lab so Doc Magnus can learn exactly how dangerous it is. That is until a giant flying manta with lasers coming out of his eyes attacks the lab, and now the Metal Men must team up with the giant robot in order to save the day. Okay, I'm actually kind of excited for Metal Men now.
Yeah, that's stupidly fun.
Yeah.
Like, also, I want to place
bets. That cover
bets
is phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to place bets that it's gold that gets killed, because why do you need gold when you have platinum of the Metal Man? You know what I mean?
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Nightwing 67's out. I hate
Still
the first.
No Nightwing.
Yeah, I hate the first line of the solicit actually. Accepted his destiny as the Grey Sun. What?
Yeah, but that comes from Quarter Owls, though. I'm fine with that. I'm glad they're bringing that back.
It's actually doing it.
Yeah,
instead of just doing bloody Nightwing like everyone actually wants.
Yeah, that said, Nicola Scott, I don't know if she's just doing sketches or prepping for something.
Yeah. Hopefully.
We get the proper...
I mean, I've said this ever since he got hit in the head, or shot in the head. I've said that the fix will happen in Batman, so Batman 85 might be when it happens.
I feel the more I read Batman, the more I feel like this was all just to take Dick off the table.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll actually be very surprised if it happens in Batman 85. I don't think anything about this story feels like it's leading up to that.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it's it was going to be the end of the run, but because Batman Catwoman's a thing, it's kind of murkied up where it would.
And now it's
fix
okay.
it.
Do we do it in Batman Catwoman? But that feels weird to kind of have this into that relationship with that book, or do we just do it in what would have been Batman 100 anyway, but with whoever's just writing it? It's like editorials, like right, this is what you're doing in 100.
Yeah, maybe on the new team now, the new writer to fix Dick. Yeah, I can see it. To fix
that's Harley Quinn 69 and fixing Dick that hasn't been unable to help.
I can't help it.
Next up, Connor's favourite book that just will not die, Red Hood Outlaw issue 41.
The shocking return of Artemis and Bizarro. Ugh.
Don't worry, I'm sure David will make him read it. So you have that, and then you have a couple of things we won't talk about. Then we have Shazam issue 9 has been resolicited for December 4th.
Yeah. So when are we expecting 8 now?
Never. They're just gonna skip it.
I don't even know when they're pretending 8's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know currently. But hey,
we had 7, right?
No, we had 6.
Yeah. No,
so
we had 7.
Wait, so, okay, I'm going to check because...
Yeah, check, please.
We haven't even had 7 yet.
So I assume 8's or 8's scheduled for November then, because I think 7's scheduled for October currently.
Well, according to Comixology, which may not be the most up to date, admittedly, I can't bother hunting for the news article. 7 is scheduled for 25th of September.
All right, so that may actually be this month. We'll see. Next up, here's an interesting one. So Supergirl 37 is coming out, of course, and notably though that we have a new writer, and I've actually been really enjoying the current team on Supergirl. I've been enjoying it a lot, but I have very little to complain about Jodie Hauser taking over the book with art by Rachel Stott. Notable thing here is that this is a tie-in to the Infected stuff, this particular issue, and that might make you think, oh, it's just a one-shot thing, maybe the team will be back. No, Jodie Hauser said on Twitter that she's taking over the book starting in December, so that makes it sound like, no, she's the writer on it now.
Reminds me of when Pac took over Action Comics, and his first issue was the only good 0-year tie-in.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So that is cool. I like Jodie Hauser a lot. When she co-wrote one arc of Supergirl with Orlando, it was the best arc in his run because she was there to
because Orlando wasn't writing it.
Well, he was co-writing.
That's sad. That's the most of Orlando I've liked was his Supergirl.
Yeah.
So.
And given the last issue ended with her getting back to National City, it makes me wonder if she had more plans with high school stuff to do. Maybe we'll get back to that, which I'm okay with. I like that stuff. So.
Me too. And this tie-in could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's cool. Superman 18, of course, is coming out. We'll just leave that there. Superman Smashes the Clan issue 2, of course, is coming out. $8, issue 2 of 3.
Somehow monthly,
80 pages. A lot of lead time. That's all I can imagine.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of lead time.
Probably fantastic.
Well, it was probably going to come out as one big graphic novel. They split it into 3 issues, so I mean, it was probably already just going to be done for one thing anyway.
Yeah, so I'll probably just wait till the trade comes out to check that out.
Okay, but you have to promise to tell us about it when you read the trade at least.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot to commit to an 80-page book.
Yeah,
on top of the other issues,
yeah, and that's why. Because that's also a week 3. So.
Is week 3 going to be terrifying?
And yes.
Just because of Christmas, probably, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, issue 6. That's still going.
Apparently there's an Olsen Batman prank war going on.
I'm okay with that.
The great Olsen Batman prank war rages on.
We
got Teen Titans.
Lex Luthor's kicking around. It's a whole thing.
We got Teen Titans issue 37. Adam Glass still doing his thing. We're not into it, but it's still going. Terrifics issue 23. Still not a final issue.
No.
We'll know when it says Bizarro first issue. We'll know that's when it's the last.
Oh, sure.
Right.
I do feel a little sad that I've kind of dropped that because I did like it a lot, and I do like Yang as a writer, but it wasn't as good as what it originally was. And
good. I didn't get a chance to read the last one. and I was worried about catching up. But if you're not going to read it, then
I don't think I read the last one.
Well.
I think I read it at a
Okay.
time, and that's why I decided to leave.
Okay.
Because I just I wasn't super into the last arc as much as what I had been. But I'm glad it's still trucking. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That's the thing. And then we got the next issues of the horror stuff from the Joe Hill line. We got Basket Full of Heads issue 3, which is 3 of 7. So that's
Ooh,
coming.
Lotte variant cover.
Yeah.
Hello.
Dollhouse Family issue 2, which is 2 of 6. And then we got your the Sandman universe stuff. You get Books of Magic 15, The Dreaming 16 and 17, which is for the 1st of January. House of Whispers 16, and John Constantine Hellblazer issue 2. And The Last God issue 3.
That's not part
That's
of.
not okay.
No. King
Is
Tyr.
Lucifer though?
What?
Lucifer sounds like it should be.
Lucifer is. Last God is the fantasy book that's completely
Yeah.
separate.
All right, well, Lucifer
Still.
15 is there as well. That was just after the
Yeah.
other one for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's good. And then you got Collapsor issue 6, Doom Patrol Weight of the Worlds issue 6, Far Sector issue 2. I'm still going to try Far Sector though. Far Sector, even though it's a Black Label book, but it's a Green Lantern.
And the first issue is a McKelvey variant, so I'm there.
Art by Jamal Campbell, who is really good. So
Yeah.
So that's issue 2 of 12, Far Sector. Dial H for Hero issue 10 is coming out.
That's a
The only
great
thing
cover.
that I would say about Jamal Campbell being on issue 2 of 12 is means you might not be getting Naomi
For a
season
year.
2 for a while.
Yeah, I can see it's going to be off for a full year because of this, probably.
Yeah.
That's okay. She's showing up in action. We got a Young
No,
Justice, maybe.
that's fine. Because I think
That's
when it was
okay.
announced, we just assumed it was 6 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dial H for Hero issue 10, like I said, is coming out, as is Wonder Twins issue 10. And then Young Justice issue 11 is hitting on December as well.
I'm pulling up this cover just to see what's on it. It's taking a minute.
Which one, Dial H?
No. That's a great cover. That's it's Silver Age Supergirl there.
Yeah.
But no, the Young Justice, because you got Naomi and Wonder Girl. Yep, there's that ugly costume.
Yeah. So yeah, Naomi's in a couple of different Bendis books. Even if Naomi itself isn't running right now. So
Yep.
that's,
But I
that's
couldn't
kinda cool.
tell on that if Naomi was there, so I had to click. She's on both covers.
So yeah, and then of course you got the reprints of the Walmart specials. Batman Universe, Superman Up in the Sky, Titans, Burning Rage, Wonder Woman Comes Back to Me, and then that kind of rounds out your regular Solicits.
Yeah. So they're re-releasing for the Birds of Prey movie. They're re-releasing these trades with new covers by Tula Lotte.
Which are gorgeous covers.
Oh my god, I need that Huntress, because it's Tula Lotte drawing Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress.
It's so good.
Like if this isn't a steel box for when that Blu-ray comes out,
They're doing it wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to put all three of them together, to make the cover. I almost want to pick up the Huntress to get that one.
Yeah, I don't even care about what's inside it. Although it's a Rucka story, so it's probably good.
Yeah, it's Rucka's Huntress. It's Cry for Blood.
Yeah.
There's a Bat and Cat 8 Years of Romance anthology hardcover thing coming out.
Yeah.
So-
We need to talk about an omission that's not in the Solicits. Because
Yes.
Matt's just reminded me, is Azzarello's Birds of Prey issue 3.
Yes.
Someone tweeted me, it could be due to the fact that there's a holiday in there, who knows? And he just tweeted, could be, or maybe something else. ... Which doesn't sound great.
Well, I thought what you could. I think that's 50-50. That could either be he's teasing something. There's a reason why it's pushed because there's plans for something big that they have to wait a month on or something like that. I don't know. Or it's bad because DC are giving him crap for whatever he's doing because they don't like his writing.
Yeah, they haven't. I mean, as of right now, they've obviously not cancelled the first two, so there's no reason to suspect that yet.
Yeah, because he had that kerfuffle on the Black Label book, the Bat Penis.
Damned. Yeah.
And then so we'll see. I mean, I'm not as psyched about this as you two are, so I'm not that upset. But
I'm actually very disappointed by this. If that is the case.
if it's the start of problems, if it's the start of what's eventually going to end up with the book sort of just not existing past the first arc or whatever, then yeah. So, there's a thing. I'm just skimming through the trades and whatnot.
I see they're reprinting the Justice League International, the GIF and stuff. again, quite a significant trade. This for 1 to 6, 7 to, and then because then it changes. Then it changed to international 7 to 17, annual 2, and the Suicide Squad issue 13, which is a tie-in.
It's like one of the Flash book or the John's Titans. It looks like it's that size.
Well,
I think it's bigger. This is over 550 pages.
Ooh, 552. You can murder somebody with that.
Speaking of big books, I'd heard they were doing Green Arrow by Mike Grell omnibus editions, right?
It's in here, I believe.
It is. I'm looking at it right now. It's volume 1, which makes sense because there was enough of that run that I was expected 3 or 4 omnibuses. This first volume is over 1,500 pages.
Maybe it'll just be 2 omnis.
So it might just be 2 giant omnis because it's the Longbow Hunters 1 to 3, which he did first, and then 1 to 50 of his run.
Good gravy!
Huge book.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to order that to Amazon.
I've got all the digital trades. At least I've got most of them. I may have the last couple to still get, but I've got most of them. I've got up to like volume 6 or 7, I think.
Also, the Omega Man by Tom King is getting a deluxe edition hardcover.
Oh, aye.
I never got into that when I tried it when it came out and I couldn't get into it. But I
want to go back and check it out now.
People did love it.
Yep.
Do you know what I like about that international book being the trade is that it means that it'll be digital as well because the omnibuses don't go digital, but those thick trades do.
But that's a small omnibus size.
Oh, it is, yeah. But I'm glad it'll be available that way digital because I've not bought any of it yet, so I can just get it really cheap essentially when it goes on sale.
Yeah, I've got like a lot of the trades that they did, which they think they gave up on at some point. So now I guess they're doing these ones instead.
They're more likely to finish though, just because there'll be less of them. They'll do them in like 2 or 3 books as opposed to whatever there was.
And it's well worth reading for anyone that's interested. It's aged quite well because of the comedy angle that Giffen takes. So that's really helped it age better than a lot of other books from the time.
Justice League Origin Deluxe Edition. That's a weird book to me. Like.
Yeah, that's D52.
Like, I just don't think it's standalone enough to make it worth wanting just a deluxe of that part of it.
Yeah, like 1 to 6 is standalone enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, the next part.
If it was Justice League by John's like Volume 1 Deluxe, then sure, then do like a few of them and do the whole thing. But
yeah,
weird.
They're collecting all of Tomasi's Nightwing in one trade, 140 to 153. I never read it, but I know that's the whole thing.
Okay. All right, there you go. That's Solicits.
Yep.
Your monthly Solicits discussion is complete. Don't worry, we'll be back next week with sales figures because they should have the full list out by then.
Barf.
Everyone's favourite segment. So let's talk about books then, finally. That's what we're usually here to do after all. But we have Gotham City Monsters issue 1 here at the top of the show. Which me and Matt both read, I believe.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you actually read it, because it is Orlando.
Oh yeah, Jay, I was going to be cruel and put a book that only you had read at the top of the list.
Yeah, I thought you might.
I will just take a rest after that Solicits talk. I'll just rest my voice for...
I did plan on reading this, even though I don't like Orlando that much, but I like the characters. I thought I'll try it, but time was not my friend today.
Pete, please tell me your lineup on my side on this one.
What is your side?
I did not enjoy this.
I am mixed on it. I like a couple of things about it. I like the fact that it's set in like the monster town, which is where the monster stuff happened back in the start of the Rebirth era. And I liked 1 or 2 like sort of horror beats. But this issue mainly just kind of goes around introducing all the main characters of the book. Yeah. And the plot didn't do a whole lot for me. Like the setup of this villain who's been resurrected and that iVampire and Frankenstein are both after.
The fact that I'm getting pushback from people on Twitter that they like this makes me feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I didn't hate it though. It didn't give me that it wasn't like, oh, this is like JLA by Orlando where I was just miserable.
No, I didn't hate it either, but seeing the amount of people that are like, oh well no, this is just a setup. This is a miniseries. This isn't like a long play. Like, I don't know, but the plot definitely I kept feeling like we should have known who this big bad was that was revealed at the end. And I just didn't. And then when I did some research and started looking at stuff, there's it's well crafted in that Orlando's basically hinting at who it is throughout of it, if you know what to look for. So I appreciate that. But the actual story and like the stuff with the dialogue from Andrew Bennett at the beginning was terrible. That's like some of the worst things I've read this year. Because Orlando had to work in him saying "I vampire."
Yes.
And so yeah, I did enjoy the Killer Croc stuff. Him feeling like the only place he fits in Gotham is Monster Town, and that his time in the Suicide Squad has kind of changed him. So I do like that. Lady Clayface stuff, incomprehensible to me. Not. And then the Frankenstein, I didn't like, which sucks because I like Frankenstein. I like that whole Agents of Shade stuff. So yeah, I definitely don't think I'll be going to issue 2. Orlando got me again.
Orlando got you again. I didn't hate it. I probably won't read issue 2, but mainly just because there's a lot of competition coming up next month, and unless this blew me away, it wasn't probably going to stick around for me. But and I made some calls here because there was some decisions I made based on what I was going to read, because I knew there was 5 or 6 I was definitely reading, and there was another couple that were okay. Out of the next 3 or 4, I'll read a couple of them, but I just don't know which ones. And I read this, and the art's typically all right. There was one or two panels that were a bit weird, but other than that, the art was pretty solid. The violence was good. At one point, like Frankenstein, cuts I Vampire in half. It was bloody. It's brutal. It was just doing what it is. It's kind of pulpy enough. I get why people like it. I do. I'm not in the hate train, but I'm also not in the I love this either. It's just kind of It's just fine.
I really wanted to like it too. That's why I'm more disappointed. I don't hate it, but I wanted to like it more because it's monsters. I love monsters. And we got to the Monster Town thing, and I was like, oh, of course, Orlando did that in Batman. So of course he'd go back to it. Yeah. But yeah, this isn't his Wonder Woman with Jason bad, or JLA, but still, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it was hard to read.
I mean, I like seeing Orca and stuff. I like Orca as a character.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially after seeing her show up in Nightwing, and she's a little bit more sympathetic, doing things for positive reasons. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
At least I have Justice League Dark.
Yep, I guess you do. I feel like I should like it more. It's just one of these things where I don't understand why I don't. I don't know. So, so some stuff I feel like I'm really fussy with vampires. It's odd. I Vampire. Everyone tells me that New 52 book's great, but every time he shows up somewhere, I'm just kind of he just feels kind of
that
bland.
First trade is really good, but it also I feel like it needs to take place in the Dark Multiverse, where I just feel if there's if there's vampires infiltrating Gotham, Batman would know, right? And the fact that it never gets touched upon either is just, it's weird. So, I don't know.
I think that plays against how separate everything was at the start of New 52. Nothing was...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. But Batman shows up in that first arc, and Alfred, Alfred helps out Andrew Bennett a little bit. But we should say at the end, the big bad's revealed to be Melmoth, who I have no idea who that is. But apparently he popped up in The Seven Soldiers by Morrison. He has some kind of control over Frankenstein, which I don't understand. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was getting the impression that he has control over a lot of monsters, once his influence gets in them.
Yeah.
But hey, what are you rating him at?
It was a 5.
I'll give it a 6. I think it was a little bit stronger than what you did, but not anything that blew me away by any means.
Yeah.
All right.
I love. Oh wait, real quick. I love talking to Tim about it, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, it wasn't that good, but you know what? I enjoyed it." And I was like, "Tim, that's your take on a lot of things."
Yes.
Right. So.
The Boy, for example.
Yeah. So.
Event Leviathan issue 4 is next with Bryan Michael Bendis writing, Alex Maleev on the art, of course. You just sit and look pretty, Connor.
Or try to.
Try to.
I'm actually just gonna go get a drink because
okay, you do that. It's you should be reading. I know you don't like Bendis, Connor, but you should be reading Leviathan. It's
You can say that all you like. It's not going to make me read it.
As I struggle with my voice. So Superman's with the team now, and he's going over what happened with Waller. And he's describing that he found her, he was listening for her. Actually, I like the little touch here where he mentioned that ever since this Leviathan thing started, he's been listening for keywords. But because everyone's talking about it, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, he can't pick anything out.
Which is perfect for spy stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think what I liked it is it's the opposite almost of Action Comics where they just don't say anything that he's listening for.
Right.
This is the opposite. We're going to drown it out with everything.
Exactly. Because if everyone's talking about it, then it's not a secret. If it's not a secret, then it has no value. So, yeah. And he basically tries to talk some sense. And you get the vibe. Leviathan's not really a bad guy, but they do want to change the world. And this is the only way they know how to do it. You know? And Superman tries to use his super speed to you know, I'm still not clear if he was trying to go with them or just try not to be teleported away. But we see this really cool part where he's using the super speed in that blue teleportation thing. That was just really cool.
Yeah, well, the narration box is kind of turn and skew. And, he's trying to use his speed to keep up, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't work.
Right.
And he's kind of left.
And they take Waller.
Yeah. So Superman says this is a conversation before this that I really should just have with Batman and Miss Lane.
Yep.
And they're all like, okay, a bit offended, not gonna lie, but we'll leave. And Batman's like, yeah, everyone even here is a suspect, and Superman's like, even your son, even Damian.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, listen to them for me. Like, he's like, hey, Superman, use your hearing and listen to what they're saying, because they're up in the kitchen. So, you know, we see this conversation where Manhunter's a little bit miffed. We find out that she's been kind of framed a little bit by Leviathan as well, in the same way that Steve Trevor was. And so we're getting this sense that they've been doing this to various people. And you know, we see
it's almost like a blackmail wedge, right? Where it's like, hey, you don't bother us, we'll make this go away. But of course, Manhunter can't do that, so that's why she's here. But she doesn't appreciate getting all the questions from everybody either, especially from Damian.
Yeah, Lois steals one of Bruce's cars, a very expensive car, because Clark tries to offer to pay for it afterwards, and he's like, you can't afford it. It's $3.5 million.
And so, you know, so they're all meeting at Wayne Manor, right? The Batcave and stuff. And so when Lois has to go, she's like, I have something, almost like something came to her, right?
She's got to leave.
Yeah. So she leaves. That's where she borrows the car. And we see someone looking at her through the scope. And who is it, Pete?
It is drink water. The Silencer.
It is Honor Guest. Which is cool because at the end of her series, we kind of saw her done with Leviathan, right? So the fact that she's being pulled back in, or is she working for the new Leviathan, or because we really don't get the vibe who she's talking to.
Yeah, she's talking to someone, and we hear we get to read the other voice, but we have no idea who it is.
Right.
And she mentions she's a big fan of Lois Lane, so she'd rather have to kill her, if need be. She sees Superman fly out of the mansion, and then we get to see why, kind of like.
Yep.
And they get this message: Batgirl, who's been missing ever since she got the offer to join Leviathan, comes on screen and is like, you know, listen, Batman, come in, like I need to talk to you. She basically agreed to go with Leviathan as to be undercover to report back, and she's trying to tell them what's going on. She says, "Oh, there's a bunch of people here, but I don't know how many of them are undercover. I may be the only one."
Right.
Kind of thing.
So it's people she knows.
Yeah.
Right. The people that she recognizes, and then she gets cut off. But the person talking to Silencer is also like, we'll fall back. If Superman's there, then this is kind of bigger than us. So who's he have? Plastic Man?
Yeah, Plastic Man says, I'm coming with Superman, because they're going to try and... who are they going to try and fight again? Is it right for Batgirl? They're going to Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah, because Seattle's where the signal was coming from. Or,
Right,
or Batgirl
so-
says, I think we're in Seattle.
Right, and so which again that ties it to Green Arrow, right? Because that's where he's been operating out of for a minute, and just about who she's gonna start saying who's oh no, it's Batgirl saying, wait, who's there with you? And Batman was like, well, you can't see us, and then there it goes, her signal's gone, and there's a big burst that interrupts Plastic Man and Superman.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, is she noticing someone maybe
Right.
who she knows is a traitor, that she knows is working with
Right.
Leviathan?
Right.
So it's a really good little moment in that sense. It's really building the intrigue and the mystery.
Right. Well, and the people that are there with Bruce is Ollie and Damian. So I mean,
And Manhunter
it's Ollie
and Question. Yeah.
Right. But the ones in the panel when she brings it up are clearly Bruce, Damian, and Ollie. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a clue. But then we see where Lois goes, and she's in the super expensive car. She drives to what looks like a bad part of Gotham. And then she says, "Stay back, Smallville. I got this." So is that how she's talking? Is she talking to Clark?
Yeah, she's
There.
basically just saying, "Don't come and like help me. Like,
Okay.
let me just do this on my own."
Gotcha.
Although you've skipped
Okay.
over something here. Actually, you've skipped over
Okay.
the big light in the sky.
Well, that's what I said. They get interrupted. It's
Oh sure,
by this
yeah,
big burst of something.
yeah. But it's
and
a
we
beautiful,
don't-
beautiful panel. Though.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Maleev uses a lot of blues and reds in this one. In the beginning, we kind of see, Clark skimming or scanning the members of the detective squad with his X-ray vision and his supersonic vision, or not supersonic, but telescopic vision.
Microscopic, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's really cool. It looks like one of those old school 3D pages, And I wonder what it would look like if you got a set of those to look at that page.
Do you want me to find out?
Yeah, find out.
Because I happen to have in
Wait.
front of me my Friday the 13th Blu-ray box set, which just happens to include a couple of pairs.
Because of 3D.
Yes. So I'm going to have to find
Yes,
the page again, but
yeah, go ahead and look at that real quick for me and let me know.
yes. You can tell about the ending, about who Lois goes to talk to.
Yeah, so Lois is revealed, super seedy part of Gotham, and she's getting questioned if you've been followed. She's like, the car has a tracker. A lot of people know where I am, and the person she's talking to goes, somebody's lost the trust. And they start questioning her if they have anything, and Lois is like, no. And they're like, well, even Batman? And Lois is like, well, do you have anything? He's like, we do. And you turn the page, and it's a counter group of detectives, right? Made up of Renee Montoya, in her full question garb, Deathstroke, Zatanna, Harvey Bullock, John Constantine, and then the biggest surprise of this for me, and now, Bendis has now ingratiated himself to me since he's come over to DC. You have Ralph Dibny, the elongated man, who, from the beginning, I go, wait, there's a detective team, and you don't have Ralph? Here he is, issue 4. And it says next, the other detectives. So Lois is running her own counter intelligence, knowing that Batman's team could be compromised. So she needs to run a team of people that only she trusts, which is a very Batman move, right?
Oh,
You think
yeah.
about it. So Pete, do they come in? I mean, that's a nice look.
Thank you. So it's very trippy because it's
Yeah?
very layered. So you've got this kind of effect of like a bigger head kind of coming at you as the one below is behind it.
Nice.
It's interesting. But yes, that's all. That's all.
Okay. So you don't get too many. You don't get a 3D effect on there, do you?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It's more just really seizure inducing.
Okay. What about that page where he's in the where Superman's in the? I don't want to give you a seizure, mind you, but I got to know.
All right.
The curious to me where he escapes the boom, the teleport.
Oh, there's kind of a 3D effect on the cover actually with the cape. But
Okay.
hold on.
Nice.
Right. It's kind of weird. It does give because there's a lot of blues and reds because it's Superman.
Yeah.
There is kind of an effect. It's interesting.
Nice.
Anyway,
It's cool.
Take these off before I.
Yeah. So that do you have thoughts on the the other detectives, we'll call them?
It's an interesting twist. I'm intrigued to see how he sort of incorporates these characters and what have they found out that contradicts our main team? What have they
Outside of Zatanna and Montoya, they're all kind of anti-heroes, right? Although not traditionally Ralph, but who knows in this, because we really haven't had any Ralph for a very long time in DC Comics. But if he's like the Flash TV show version, he's very much an anti-hero, kind of, I don't want to say anti-hero, but he's, I don't know. Well, what's the better term?
Rogue?
Yeah, I guess. Like, he's not the best guy. He's not the most savory guy, but he has a good heart. But yeah, outside of Zatanna and Montoya, you got Deathstroke, which I was reading because I had to double check if that was supposed to be Ralph, and it is indeed. So I ended up reading an article, and the article made a note that, I don't want to spoil Connor on Deathstroke, but apparently Slade died in a recent issue.
I don't want to spoil it, but he died.
Yeah.
It's fine. I had already seen these headlines. They were kind of unavoidable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So with Deathstroke, is this a new Deathstroke? Is this, doesn't look like Rose, who's the only other person to really wear a similar costume? Is it Slade? Because that solicit made it sound like Deathstroke's fighting himself. So is this a different version? And then, of course, Constantine and Zatanna. Definitely the magic side of things, where it looks like it doesn't really clear Leviathan and magic stuff because we know they took out Shade. That was a big part of Gotham City Monsters. Frankenstein talking about that. So yeah, this is a nice swerve. When I started reading this, I was like, we're halfway done now. This is the 6th issue, right? We're at the halfway point. And this just took it in a whole other direction. So
and it's a bit of a broken record here, but the art is so good.
Maleev.
All the stuff with this, like, you're looking at the characters as they're looking up at the back computer, and there's all the computer sort of light hitting their face, so you can see the lines of the text and all that sort of going down them. It just gives it this feel, gives it this dark, shadowy espionage feel, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's real good. This might be my favorite book DC's putting out right now. And I know technically it's an event, it's a mini, it's whatever, but it's really good. Like, this makes me feel like when I got into comics again, everything feels new and fresh, and I just don't know if I'm putting the cynicism away while I'm reading this one, but it's got the twists and turns. I don't know what's coming, so kind of like when I watch New Japan, right? Where you're like, this story could literally go anywhere and it all makes sense, versus what you're so used to with WWE, where it's like, oh, I know exactly where this is going. And the matches might be good, but it kind of loses its steam. So, but yeah.
All right. We should probably rate it. What are you giving it, Matt?
It was a 9.5.
Oof. I was going to give it a straight 9, but I'll respect your 9.5. No, I'm very intrigued with where it's going, and it's I think what it does better than anything is I get this feeling, this tone of them in the room and not trusting each other. And not trusting who's behind what. It gives you that feeling. So,
as I was reading this, I went to the group and I posted it. We really counted out Dick Grayson as being Leviathan himself, because whoever it is has ties to all over the DC continuity, and I always just remember making a big deal of Dick is the cornerstone of the DCU. That's why, John's fought to not kill him off in Infinite Crisis. And then the more I read this, I'm like, well, it can't be Dick, can it? Like, and I don't know. It's definitely back-entered the back of my brain.
Could be Rick.
Stuff with Batgirl, and I see that's the whole thing. Maybe that's what messes everything up. And like, is it Roy? The fact that it's coming out of Seattle, right? That was his last known whereabouts before he was killed in Heroes in Crisis. He's the only one to stay dead. Is it Ollie? Is he running this entire thing? You know, and that's why Babs is asking who's there with you right now. Manhunter was his lawyer. You know. So yeah, I don't know.
It's Beast Boy. We're calling it right now.
That would be cool too. I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Beast Boy's behind it all. All right, that is Event Leviathan. That'll take us on to Batman 78. Tom King writing and Clayman on the art. So Connor can actually perk up.
Well, I mean, I read.
I will say, I like the art. I thought the art was nice.
Art is really nice.
Yeah, art's gorgeous. It's
the story.
Clayman tends to be pretty good.
Yeah, the story. Not so much. I don't get how training in Hawaii on the edge of a cliff makes you realize why you do this, Bruce. And you're still in love with Catwoman, which we all knew.
This feels like an extreme detour, given where the last issue ended.
Yeah. Definitely not plotted. I don't want to say correctly. I don't want to tell King how to plot his things, but a misstep, I can say. If this was an episode of a TV, it's a lot like Stranger Things season 2, where we took a side quest to Chicago.
That bloody 11 episode.
Yeah, and that's the one episode I hated in that season.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
although
an otherwise solid.
Person liked it.
I liked the episode. I just, from where it left off that cliffhanger of maybe Hawkins is blown up, we don't know, to hey, we're gonna go on the sidetrack and do the X-Men with 11. You know. Yeah, that's just gave me those vibes.
The issue is really pretty, as we said. The whole thing is basically just them realizing, we're still kind of in love with each other, and we shouldn't try to hide that fact. And because
I'm shocked.
Ends with a big kiss, and then just kind of.
I did like that Bruce pointing out to her, well, you played into Bane's hand. She's like, well, so did you. Like, you got so angry, you let your anger guide you, that led you into this mess. He's like, yeah, but you left. So I felt the emotional stunting that Bruce still has, right? I thought that came over very well. I'm just kind of tired of this. And I hope this does lead to him not being the Bat for a little bit. Like, fine.
I mean,
let him be happy.
There was a rumor on a certain site that shall not be named last week about a new Batman. And they didn't have an identity, but just saying something would be different.
Yeah. What did you say? It was going to be a person of color. Batman.
Well, I don't want to just say whatever it was, because I don't know if people want to know what they're saying. It's just a rumor. But the point was clearly not Bruce.
Right. Which, as long as it's not a certain character, I'll be fine. And this opened up to things that would make me excited to read Batman, because it's something different, and it's definitely different than what King's doing. You know, like,
no arguing with that.
Yeah, I mean, the issue's okay.
Like,
even Pete's not enthusiastic about it.
No,
he was kind of quiet. I thought he was going to fight.
Nah, I mean, I didn't hate it. It was just like, it's kind of King doing his thing again, where he's kind of repeating, and he's kind of doing the kind of the fever dream-esque storytelling of just.
Do you know what the thing is though? When this issue was Rooftops at the start of the run, in between these story arcs, it's fantastic. When you do it towards the climax in the middle of a big story, it just feels like a distraction and a detour.
Why couldn't we have this issue in place of the last issue, and then do the last issue now? So we see Bruce and Selena come together, and we know they're going to be on their way back to Gotham. And then on their way back to Gotham, that's when Damian has his complete dick move, and then we get the Alfred thing, and now we just have a whole interruption, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just,
It's one of those where I understand the point of this, and I think early in the run, I'm like, yeah, this is great as character building. At this stage, an entire issue in the middle of a story feels just off. Like this could have been the last 2 issues have had like a tiny scene of Bruce and Selina in each one, and it's been really frustrating and just felt shoehorned in.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been spread out over those 2 or 3 issues and been the subplot in those issues, and been fantastic as a subplot.
Yeah. I just don't know why they had to go to Hawaii. I don't get it.
To have some whiskey at the beach, or at least
that tiki drink. That tiki drink was pretty funny though. I will give him credit there. That cracked me up. To open up, and he's like, "Well, no, I'm not drinking that." And what is it? 2 Highland Parks.
Yeah, it's whiskey.
Double. And 1 ginger ale, please.
Yeah.
As the guy that orders the non-alcoholic, I appreciate Magnum Bruce there. And there's comedy in there. I feel like King's taking himself a little bit. I won't say he's taking himself too seriously, but this whole Batcat thing, because I thought it was funny here where the waiter's like, "Hey, bro, that's your wife?" Right? And he's like, "Yeah." You know, like
he
Bruce
doesn't really
answer.
Yeah.
But the look on his face is like, you know what? Yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah. So. But no. Oh man. What could have been with this run? It does.
Yeah.
I can't kill it for that. The content. I just have fatigue.
I have a question. I know you guys haven't really been keeping up with Catwoman, but didn't she change her costume last time you guys were reading it?
This is a new costume.
No, this is the costume.
Oh, is this
the new costume?
This is the new. Okay. No. I thought there was a different one before this that I was thinking of that was more.
No, this is the Returns-esque that she pieced together because of all of the fake.
I guess here it doesn't look pieced together, which is why I was.
Well, what I mean is, what I mean pieced together. If you look at it, like the way that there's an open armpit and stuff, it's like she salvaged it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like the mask doesn't quite match up with the rest of it and whatnot.
No, that's fair enough. I was under the impression it was more kind of literal stitched together, but I never read it. So
I definitely prefer the goggles look for her, because this doesn't scream thief to me. You know what I mean? This is like dominatrix. Like
I'll tell you what I like in the page. It's a few times, but the page where they're climbing the cliff and just after, the way the whip hangs looks like the tail.
Yeah,
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a little clever.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's not the worst issue. I'm running out of steam on this.
Yeah, I think like on its own, out of context, it's a perfectly good issue. It's well written well enough. It's nice enough. It's like got the big emotional climax at the end. But in context, it just feels out of place, and this side story that we didn't need to dedicate an entire issue to right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, to be honest. It's kind of just like, it's another one of King's like romance issues. And well, they can at times be very, very good. This one, he's done it better before. And at this point,
if this is what Bat and Cat's gonna be, more in line with like
12 issues of this. Yeah.
Yeah. With or like the Superman Lois double date, cool. I'm there for that book, because that's exactly what it is. That's the point of the book. Versus here, where he's set up this big, huge thing with City of Maine, right? And this is putting the brakes on that right now. So, because again, we all agree this isn't bad. It's just not great.
Objectively, it's probably the issue of Batman I've liked the most in a while.
Yeah.
It just feels so out of place in the story.
Yeah. So.
All right, Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this one a 7.5.
Connor?
I'll give it a 5.5. No. I'll give it a 6. I like the art enough.
Yeah.
I would give it a 7. It's fine. It's fine. It's not rocking my world. I'd rather be on the main story. but
Mm-hmm.
hey.
Clayman.
So we will move on then to Wonder Woman issue 78. G. Wilson writing with Tom Derenick on the art, and get into this. Love has left the building, and
the death of Love,
and everyone is getting a little bit less empathetic as a result.
Yep.
Great scene where
like...
someone, a cyclist gets hit by a car on the road, and a couple of onlookers go, "Oh, that's terrible. He's been hit by a car. Someone should help him." Yeah, but I'm not going to do it because I might get hit by a car too.
Yeah.
Let's just leave him out there.
Right. So is this Wilson saying like the root of empathy is love? Like, but we don't associate it with that, right? Like, love is this romantic thing, but to have love for your fellow man means you don't want to see anything bad happen to him. And so when love goes away, so does that. And is this a reflection of modern society with the social media and the distance between people and whatnot? Or am I just reading into it too much?
Maybe skewed it a little bit, but I don't mean,
the core point of, love being the root of empathy is definitely intentional.
Yeah, and even just the fact that love's a big part of who Wonder Woman is, so without it she can't even fight. That she becomes this lesser.
Well, she has.
It's the idea that
no desire.
She's not like Batman or even Clark to that extent, where they're driven by different things.
Right.
And hers happens to be love.
Right, because she left paradise to improve the world of man. Right, and there has to be because she wants to bring a bit of paradise to them.
Yeah. And, what I will say is, I read this and then read Batman, and that felt super weird, given that like there was just
lack of love to complete and total love.
Yeah, clearly no ripple effect to the wider world.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's comics,
I'm not really holding that against either.
Yeah.
Of them. It was just a jarring transition in my head.
I find it ironic too that one of my villains that I've learned to love with Barbara Ann is responsible for the death of love. So, like,
yeah, I mean, she smashes Wonder Woman's gauntlets and takes her other stuff. I
have
a big problem with the art in this first section. Actually, no, more the coloring specifically, because it's framed as clearly she's running, but she's already had a bit of a tussle, right? So there's the faded out bits that are clearly they're kind of flashbacks. They happened before. The problem is the big, huge page where the gauntlets are broken also clearly happened in the fight previously, because all the present day stuff she doesn't have them, but it's colored like the present stuff.
Yeah, you think they're doing a Memento thing? Is that what they were trying to go for? To where this is the point where they meet up? No,
because I think if you go to like the very first panel of the book, the color one, and then then we got a faded one, which is a flashback in the fight, and then the next panel you can see clearly she already doesn't have the bracelets, so that is ahead of.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So like in Memento, where it's they're telling it in the two different parts until they meet up in the middle.
Are you saying the stuff that's full color is going backwards?
No, I get what Connor's saying, that they were. My thing is they were trying a Memento thing, but they got it backwards, right? Whereas
meaning forwards.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
So they told a story.
Never mind.
I don't actually quite get. But yeah, do you, Pete?
Not really, but I will add to this and say that I don't really like the art in the issue as a whole for the most part.
Yeah,
I think it's
bits I like, but it's not the best.
It's very 90s. Wonder Woman looks a bit too bulky at times. All the faces are all a bit just that chunky 90s kind of look that they've got.
They all have square jaws. Every character has a square jaw, from Cheetah to Steve Trevor.
Yep,
they do, and it's not necessarily to my taste, but I don't hate the art. But it was that first bit with the coloring that annoyed me, because it established this whole a sequence with the coloring, and it was a technique. And then it just completely threw it out the window 3 pages in.
Yeah.
And that really annoyed me.
The scene with her in the bubble bath, too, looks very awkward.
Yeah. Steve's trying to be comforting, but he can't because love's gone.
Yeah, there's a few times I feel like it's just It's just a bit awkward. Wonder Woman in Etta's office is one where she stood up the first panel of that there.
Yep.
Yeah, because Etta calls her in because all hell's breaking loose because there's no love. No one showed up to work because they don't care anymore.
And she's, I did like the dialogue. He's like, "What, you just said people love their jobs?" She's like, "No, of course not. They hate their jobs, but they love their families. So they put up with the job."
I've not related to a line in a comic in quite some time.
Yeah.
I love my house. I don't want to keep it, therefore I have to go to work.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, but, and I know that Wonder Woman wears, next to nothing half the time, right? Like that's her costume. But without the bracelet, she seems naked to me, right? Like,
yeah, it looks kind of weird.
No, it does look really weird without the bracelets.
Yeah, and so it makes her vulnerable, and I do like that. I'll give the art credit there, but that's also the tone of the issue and whatnot. And Kale looking properly Bond villain-esque here, complete with white fluffy cat.
It's just a shame it wasn't a spinny chair.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but Wonder Woman gets the idea of going to Veronica Kale for help, to try and figure out how they could fix this, and whatever. So, Veronica's like, so you want me to help you, yada yada yada, there's no love, and she doesn't really quite believe her, because, I mean, this is something that even Steve said earlier on, is he doesn't feel any different, it's not noticeable right away. And then she tries to think about her daughter, and then she can't remember the pain of not having her, which was a big driving force for her for, like, Rucka's run.
For, like, 2 years.
Yeah. So, and then she's like, okay, fine, I guess we're doing this. So, yeah. And she gets a shard of the sword that she was hit with in her skin. And that's kind of, like, what propels us. Whereas the final scene is some looters with masks just stealing stuff because, again...
Is a not Daredevil mask.
A not Daredevil mask. Because they don't care, because no love. Again. Wonder Woman is getting kind of rough. Like, because she has no love, she's fighting with a little bit less compassion, a little bit less tact, but a bit more vicious, as it were.
She maybe throws this random guy quite hard into a wall.
Yes, and she is just
should have been stealing.
She is just up in a building somewhere, just looking down, and just sort of grinning, and that's kind of how Mendeshu. So yeah, this is the sort of thing where I'd almost wanted to tie into other books and have other books like lose love for an issue just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That's why I said, reading Batman right after this felt jarring, because I was like, oh man, this could have been cool to have a ripple effect. But hey, I'm not holding that against it.
No, I want to point out Atlantiades when they leave, and they got to get back to their followers, because duty still means something even if love does not. And I was just like, oh damn, like it has changed. Even it's affecting even the gods. So you know where the next thing is, right? You got to kill war, because if love's dead, war has to come next. That just evens everything out. We're back to normal.
Sure, let's go get Ares and just edit the man.
Yeah.
No, I mean, actually, I like the story in this show a lot. I like what the story's doing completely.
Yeah.
And once again, it makes me sad that Wilson's leaving the book. The art, though, I definitely felt was especially because this book's had a lot of good art since Wilson took over.
Buddy.
So this is especially sticking out to me, just how kind of
anyone feel I know we were not super keen on the style, but a distinct drop in quality when it cut to Washington and was doing the scenes outside on the street and the cyclist being hit. That felt a lot rougher. Like it was maybe it was a completely different inker or something. It just didn't feel tight at all.
Well, this is Norm Ratman, so Ratman's a pretty decent inker. No,
there's two inkers, Trevor Scott and Mark Rampman. So that might be what it is. It might be that section, a couple of pages, is done by someone else, because I felt it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say something. No, I forgot. I wasn't a big fan of Carrie Nord, right? But I'll take Nord over this every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because at least with Nord, it's stylistically different enough. Whereas here, everyone kind of looks square. And, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this one 7.5. I really like the story, but the art. It's almost a reverse Batman.
Sure.
I really like the art in that one, and the story took it down.
Connor?
I'm actually going to agree with a 7.5. Art dragging it down a bit.
Yeah, I will also agree with the 7.5. Story's good. If this, based on the story alone, it's probably like an 8.5 or something like that.
But that's not how comics work.
No, but there's art too, yes. So here we go. So that'll take us out of the Flash 78. Joshua Williamson writing with Rafa Sandoval on the art, and that pesky Sage Force user runs off.
Psych. Every time I hear his name, that's all I think.
Psych, yeah. He
Psych.
runs off, and I kind of like halfway through this issue, I was like, this has to end with Black Flash getting someone. Like, we have to kill someone. So luckily, the last page is him getting Psych, and Psych is just a skeleton in his hands. It's beautiful.
It's convenient that it's the one that they care the least about, isn't it?
Yeah, the a-hole.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would have had way more weight if it was actually someone he liked that died. And don't get me wrong, Barry didn't want anyone to die.
But if it was Forza, the first one that he met.
Yeah, that would hurt a lot more, right?
Yeah. Also, I'm not convinced this is not Psych messing with him more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's possible.
Like, well, if it is, cool. Like, kill off the Force user, whatever. That's why they were set up. But, and also it took me this issue to realize that, what's his name? The Stealth Force guy, Steadfast.
Yeah.
It is essentially a monk, and that how he interprets the Stealth Force is like meditation. You know?
Yeah.
And I can't believe it took me this long to realize that.
Yeah.
So.
I like this. I mean, it's called Death and the Speed Force, so
Yeah.
we're probably going to kill the other forces by the end of this, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, and I get that the Speed Force has been around a lot longer, therefore it's probably a lot stronger. But wouldn't the Strength Force, say, have its own version that would come after the other Force users too? Like, if you're telling me the forces are kind of equal, and this is how they react to the existence of the other, then I feel they would have these dark avatars popping up.
Yeah,
you know?
Maybe they just never got. They never were around long enough, unleashed long enough to establish and manifest those.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I like Barry's plan here of like, well, hey, if we just wait till the Speed Force dies, because the other forces being around is killing the Speed Force. Right. If we just wait till it dies, then Black Flash goes with it, and you guys are all safe.
Right.
Which I like in theory.
Yeah.
There's
but that also.
There's a scene, I was going to say there's a scene with more of this Rogue's recruitment, which I think I'm fairly interested in the Rogue story it's building up to, even if Weather Wizard's new looks abhorrent,
ostentatious.
I like it. I like him being a Force mage, right?
Oh,
like he's like a weather sorcerer.
I take it Matt wasn't here last time we spoke about this.
Yeah, because we ripped into that look.
We hated it.
I want him to go full Gandalf.
Cold is the only one that looks good. He looks okay.
Yeah, they get Mirror Master, who's in a jacuzzi in Malibu. What?
Is this Scudder or is this McCullough? Because I can't remember. Because he doesn't talk with the accent, but I thought that McCullough was the one that took over after. So.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the DC wiki page for the issue and just see what it says.
What issue is this? Flash 78?
78, yeah. And although Cold's actually looking for his sister, who was meant to be with Mirror Master.
Right.
So he wants her. He's going to launch his big thing because all this new tech they've got from Lex Luthor. So this is clearly all just set up for the next arc. This is stuff that's coming after the Force stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I'll probably enjoy it more because I like the Rogues more. But
yeah. Also in the Solicits, we saw that he's going to become King Cold, which leads me up into old King Cold was a very old soul. Right.
It's Scudder, by the way.
Scudder. Right.
This is Scudder.
Yeah.
All right. So who was the first Mirror Master? Was it Scudder? Because I thought Scudder died.
I thought Scudder was the first one.
Right, so that's why McCullough took over.
Yeah.
Yes, we're still on Scudder.
Right. So what happened to McCullough? I thought we had McCullough last.
Did we?
Because he's the one that dates. He's the one that dates Golden Glider.
Has he been around since New 52 and Rebirth?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him in a while.
This is what happens when I read the John stuff at the same time I was reading this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about
what happened to my brain.
if you talk about continuity before Flashpoint, then sure, yeah, like that's.
Yeah. But here, that's my whole thing. Is this confusing my brain? Because I was reading them concurrently. So in my brain, the last Mirror Master I saw was McCullough.
Yeah, I'm on McCullough's wiki, DC wiki page, and on appearances. And it all seems to be Flash Volume 2, Flash Rebirth Volume 1, as in the John's Rebirth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he's been in Rebirth, or even since before the New 52.
Okay.
So it's just Matt confusing us for no reason. And he's supposed to be our resident continuity wizard.
Yeah, well, my brain's dumb.
Yeah. I will say I did kind of like Flash racing to get to Psyche and like that panel of Black Flash overtaking him because he's not fast enough anymore. I did kind of like that page and that kind of chase.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. I like the train. Here's the thing, though. How did Psyche get out of the country so quick? Right? He's far.
They had teleporters in the Flash cave, right? Like Zeta beam tubes. I don't know. In the Speed Lab HQ, when they set that up a couple of issues ago.
Yeah, but why would Psyche have been using that? Because he wasn't at the Speed Lab.
Right.
That's true, was he?
Oh.
Nope.
I don't know. He got to the West Highlands of Scotland by, I don't know, paddle.
I'm just saying he got there quick.
Paddle boat. That's my guess.
He took whatever shortcut through the earth that Bruce used in Dark Knight Rises.
He used the magic rope too.
Your mic's going.
Yep.
Also, there's no plot hole in Dark Knight Rises about him getting back to Gotham. I'm not.
I know there's not. I just wanted to say it.
Well, I mean, he also took time out of his day to go burn a gigantic bat symbol into the bridge. So
that's a fantastic moment. That's one of the best moments of that trilogy. I will not hear a bad word about it.
To be fair, me and Pete defended that moment a lot when we did our review.
It looks cool as shit. Don't get me wrong, but when you think, it's just like when you think about Jason putting a dude's head in the oven or the fridge, and then hiding around a corner waiting for somebody to find it before he comes out and stabs him.
But
you know what I mean?
Bruce's whole thing is theatricality and symbols and stuff.
Yeah.
It's making a show, and so it makes sense in that movie.
It makes more sense for him to do that than for Jason to put a head in the fridge.
Yeah.
But Jason does it because he's got a wry sense of humor. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Hey, watch this! I'm gonna get him."
Yes, Firefly, you talk to people?
Very patient man.
Yes,
he is. Everyone else runs. He just, like Michael Myers, he'll get you.
Yeah.
Pete, when you were playing the WWE 2K games, you did make a team of Jason and Michael, right?
Oh yeah, Jason, Michael, Freddy, Pinhead, Leatherface.
No, I know, but you gave them the Undertaker and Kane, right? Like,
I don't know.
Movesets.
I can't remember. Well, Jason was definitely mostly Kane's moveset, but with a different finisher.
Right.
Michael Myers was mostly Undertaker's moveset with a different finisher.
Because the sit-up.
Yeah. I think I made a faction called the Horror Hooligans, if I recall correctly.
So I remember you sent me a video of Michael's entrance to the Halloween music.
Oh yeah.
And it was tight. So anyways, Flash. Yeah.
It'd be nice if they made the gameplay fun so I could enjoy playing those games again.
Yeah.
They've barely touched it in like 10 games. It's depressing.
Speaking of video games, I was planning on playing God of War 4 last night. Yeah, when I went to go, I forgot I haven't charged my controller in quite some time. so there went that. Because the way that I'm situated, there's no way I could sit and play and have it plugged in, like old school style.
Yeah, I usually do that.
Yeah.
You can always just buy a longer USB cable if you
I
really
just
wanted
use
to.
Yeah, but-
what is it? Because it's the same that is a very common phone charger.
Yeah.
So I just have that plugged in by my feet as a phone charger, and then just use it there.
I didn't think about that until it was time for bed, and go.
Yeah.
I could have just plugged this into the wall right next to me.
You can, yeah. You could.
But I ended up. But yeah, I might do that when I'm done here.
There you go. That's a fun day.
So let's get through these.
Yeah, well, we're pretty much done with Flash. I think it was an okay issue. We're not loving this story, but it's not a bad issue as part of the story, though. Like it's
not. It's just in a bit of a slump for the story right now, isn't it?
So, and well, some of Sandoval's art issues are still there. There was definitely some more likable panels in this one. I thought the trade stuff at the end mostly worked.
I think it
me.
helped that there was less of Barry running in this issue.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Matt, what are you giving it?
I'll give this one a. The art I wasn't big. I mean, Sandoval's fine. I'll give it a 7.
Done. Connor?
6.
I'll agree with the 7. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fine book.
I was gonna go 6.5, but then I was like, was it 6.5? No. Also, I don't like giving out 6.5s.
Okay. Good to know. That
What's wrong with 6.5s? I want to know.
God damn it, cat.
I guess that's what's
Sorry.
wrong with them.
Yeah, right. Can't just bit my finger.
That takes us on to Young Justice issue 8. Bryan Michael Bendis writing with John Tibbs on the art. And this is a frustrating issue to talk about, Matt, because I actually think this is a very good issue. It is. I really enjoyed. I don't
want it overshadowed by the stupidity of certain things.
There's one thing that we're going to complain about.
Yeah.
But the issue, it's basically they're on Earth 3, and the crime syndicate's actually been missing for a while, and they've been replaced by the Earth 3 version of Young Justice. It's like the evil versions of all these characters, and that's.
Did they just not go back after Forever Evil?
Well, no. John was there. That's where John got aged up. Remember, he was in the volcano.
Yeah.
And Connor was probably tuning us out. But he was in the volcano. That Ultraman was there. Here's my main thing, and Bendis will probably address it, though. This is the Earth that Alexander Luthor was from, right?
Yes.
In Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, Luthor are good, right? Because of the polarity reverse.
Yeah, that was the whole thing in Forever Evil, wasn't it?
Right? Well, no, because that Luthor was Shazam. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, but just for now, does that mean this Luthor L is still half good, half bad?
I would take it. So Luthor L is the evil Superboy here.
Right.
I would take it as kind of like how Superboy struggled with the idea that he's got some Luthor in him. It's probably the same in this, where he struggles with the idea that he's got some good in him, but he's mostly evil.
Right, and but I'm looking at his name, and you would think he would be like Ultra something, right? You can't use Ultra Boy. That's a member of the Legion.
We got Amaxon Thunder as the Wonder Girl,
which I had to look up Amaxon. That's not a word. Bendis made up that word.
That's fair.
So, because every time I looked up Amaxon, it would take me straight to Amazon. Like it wanted me to buy stuff.
Yeah, so she's fighting Wonder Girl. Luthor L shows up and attacks. Amethyst and Jenny Hex. Superboy, of course, jumps in and tries to help. Impulse has got Speed Zone.
Right, who looks like a dark version of Wallace.
Yeah.
Like, of that. So that's cool. I like Bendis keeping that going.
And they're all after a multiverse map. They think that our characters have a multiverse map for some reason.
Because they want to get out, because we don't know what happened to the crime syndicate.
Yeah.
They all just took off somewhere.
Yeah, Superboy's throwing Luthor L into the Daily Planet globe and does attacks and everything. It's just a really well drawn Bruce Timm. That's not Bruce Timm, sorry, John Timms.
The other one.
Yeah, the other Timms.
Could you imagine a Bruce Timm one though?
I know.
Anyways, I did like the part with Connor is like, oh, you shouldn't have shown me what you can do because now I know I don't have to hold back. Like I thought that was pretty good because even when it's an evil version, he doesn't want to hit his teammates, right? He just wants to use light as possible. But he's like, all right, well, we're gonna do this. And I like that Amaxon Thunder is the leader of this team, and she does it by manipulating the evil Tim Drake and Luthor L, and basically doing her bidding.
Yep.
and everyone else is just kind of around. But throughout this issue, we're getting this narration, and I felt stupid because once it was revealed, I was like, I should have known this from the beginning based off of the color of the boxes.
the color, the border of the
Right?
box is purple with a gold trim. But before you get to that, though, I want to point out, so when Evil Tim shows up, right, who's ginger, by the way, just want to put that out there. When Evil Tim shows up, he's the only one who doesn't get like a logo with his name. Like all the other ones, like it comes up saying, you know, Amaxum Thunder. It comes up saying, you know, Lutherell. But his doesn't, because it's going to be revealed throughout the conversation where he eventually says his name is Drake, and Tim's like, "You call yourself Drake? Just Drake? What? What's up with that?" And he's like,
"Pete, it's the most dangerous of birds." Which, no, it's not, Bendis. I looked this up. I thought, is there a bird of prey I'm missing? Because as far as I know, a drake is a male duck.
It is a male duck, yeah.
Right? So if you want to be the most dangerous of birds, then you find out, you call yourself the gander and you're the male Canadian goose. Right?
Or swan of some kind. Swans are vicious.
Yeah.
Do you know what this sounds like, though? Do you say that, though? That it's the most vicious bird that the animal kingdom? It sounds like John Peters, the producer of Superman Lives, talking about bears and spiders. This is the most dangerous creature in the animal kingdom.
Yeah. Right. So, unless this is a swerve, and I'm hoping it's a swerve, then I look at that ugly costume that he gets, and I'm like, oh.
No, because he basically says, "Oh, that's actually quite smart, using Drake, because it's both my name and it's a bird." And then Bart's like, "Yeah, you should start calling yourself Drake."
Don't listen to impulse.
Yeah,
right?
Just don't.
You don't. He's not getting any good ideas. The kid's got ADD, mixed with drinking too much Mountain Dew. He makes bad decisions. His name is Impulse. Like, it's there.
I want to weigh in here on the sense that I have very low expectations on most codename changes.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of them that I just don't really like. I don't really care for. Like Duke going from Lark to Signal. I think it was a downgrade. But sure, at least, you know. But here's
it's still
the thing.
A bird.
What's that?
It's still a bird. It fits that theme, right?
Sure,
Robin, Lark, Bluebird, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Signal completely upsets that. So
so I didn't like it, but here's the thing: it wasn't just his goddamn name.
Yeah.
That is not the definition of a code name. Is not your name.
That'd be becoming Duke, just Duke.
Yeah, that's Duke. Like what's your password, Tim?
Yeah. Password?
Is it just Tim?
It's just password.
Yeah, evil.
One of those guys.
Evil Tim tries to shoot him in the face because he's evil.
Rubber bullets, he promises.
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
But of course, at the end, the narrator that we've had the whole time shows up.
Yeah.
And it is Stephanie Brown of Earth 3, who is apparently not evil. She seems like she's actually a good character still.
Batwoman.
Yeah, she's the Batwoman. Yeah.
So what I liked about this was I'm trying to figure out who's talking, and I'm like, who the hell is this? Like a version of Jenny Hex because she's on the outside? Is this Naomi? Like, is this what we're getting? Because we know she can teleport and whatnot. You know, she's been to her other realm where she's from, and then I see the purple, and then I see it's her, and it fits. And I kind of like that because if you know her backstory, for those that don't, her dad's the Clue Master, right? And he's a villain. And that's why she's the spoiler. So I feel like her being a hero is kind of a spoiler in this universe. So it all fits. I like that. And I like that Tim is like, oh, I've been trying to get back to you. And she's like, wait. What are you talking about? I also like she brings up you can't wear that here. We have enough of a gang problem. And then we see the snappers.
Yeah, snapper card. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
That was really funny. No,
it was very much the Warriors. I like that. But he starts professing all this love, and I was like, oh yeah, this all started like a day ago to them when they got pulled to Gemworld, and he was just a Metropolis with her, and whatnot. And then when Bart comes out and knocks her out. I was like, shit, man. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, Bart punches at the back of the head.
Yeah. So
thinking she's evil.
But yeah. So outside of that, I hope it's not. Someone pointed out to me, one of our listeners, that this all could be a swerve. There's no way it's actually Drake, because the way that it's handled is, if Impulse thinks it's a good idea, it's probably not. And that it's the evil version. Why would he take Q?
But like you said,
from that,
there is that costume.
Yeah, that's not that great, and just I'm trying to. I always try to stay positive when it comes to stuff like this, but this one's proving to be difficult because I get him not wanting to be Robin. I mean, having multiple versions has never really been an issue with DC. You know, we've had two Blue Beetles running around, and
what was wrong with Red Robin?
Yeah, like
genuine question. It worked. Yeah. It clearly differentiated him. It was not just Robin. He's right. Red Robin. Everyone just went, yeah, that's fine. That wasn't confusing to anyone.
But at the same time, I feel like he's at this point where he's ready to stand on his own and be his own character, like Nightwing. And I like that. He wants to get away. He doesn't want to be a Robin anymore. But pick a better name than Drake, man.
And how kind of terrible is it in the aspect of, hey, Nightwing was inspired by Superman.
Right. You're inspired by
Tim's
evil
by
version of
his
himself?
evil counterpart.
Yeah, who looks more like Jason Todd. Or again, don't take cues from him.
Yeah, that's always a bad idea. The book ends. We finally see sort of Green Teen Lantern and Jenny kind of get into it, and
right.
The evil Jenny Hex is just called Hex, and it ends with her using a round to knock out Jenny, presumably, but she's going for her trunk. It's like, oh, your trunk's still full of goodies, implying that she's used all of hers already, that they're all gone.
Right.
So we're finally going to get to see what was in this damn trunk.
Right.
That's going to have stuff in it.
Next issue, we also get the origin of Teen Lantern.
Yeah.
That should be fun. No, outside of the Drake reveal and stuff, I really enjoyed this issue.
This is the thing. I went into this issue thinking I was going to be annoyed because of the Drake name change, but everything else is fantastic. All these characters interacted with the evil versions of themselves, the Snapper Car Gang, Stephanie being the Batwoman, although I do hate her hair. Just FYI.
Yeah, but again, it's Earth 3. You're not supposed to like everything.
Yeah, that's fine. But like everything else I loved. It's one of my favorite issues of the book so far. Like, I'm actually kind of glad to be away from the Gem World stuff and then back to something else. So no.
Well, and that's a pretty strong statement considering how much we like the last one too.
Yeah.
With the different, cartoon world and all that different stuff. So you can tell Bendis is having fun for sure.
Yeah. What are you giving it, Matt?
I'm gonna give this one 8.5.
I am also gonna give it 8.5. It would be a 9, but the Drake takes it down that half point.
Yeah.
That's my ruling. Okay, that'll take us on to Batman: The Outsiders issue 5, which I think was just me reading this, right?
Nope, I read it.
Oh, you still read it? Okay.
I thought Matt was dropping it.
I had time. I got it home last night.
You got it.
The wife went to see a movie with her friends. I was like, might as well. So, I will say this book definitely benefits from lack of Batman. I know it makes me sound like a salty anti-Batman fan, but the stuff that happened here with Katana and Black Lightning, I thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, I dug this issue quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Black Lightning and Katana go to try and get Sophia, is that her name, back?
Yep.
And they're being told by everyone in the country they shouldn't be here, they don't belong here, but no, we're here anyway. And it's kind of them bonding and going after. And a lot of this issue was a really quick read actually, because it's not too long before they end up.
Scenes.
Yeah, they end up fighting. Yeah, Calibur's kind of there as the backup. He's got his big sniper rifle. And
God, he's the 90s in one image.
Oh, he is. He really is.
Like, I can't get over it. But yeah, I also like the opening of this. I thought was a lot of fun about Black Lightning and Katana going to Kadim and everybody telling them how much of a bad idea that is to be an American there.
Yeah.
So I thought that set the tone real well. And then them two having a moment too, where
it was an interesting conversation about Katana has killed people in the past, and she's expecting Black Lightning to be like against that. And he's like, well, I'm not really I've not had to do it yet, but I'm not necessarily saying never. If the occasion calls for it. So it's kind of separated from what Batman is, obviously. Sophia, of course, lashes out against him because she's been all taken over and she's drugged up and whatever else from Raz. And an army comes out of the sand to come and get them.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yep.
Big and adventure. There's no surprise you like this issue, I suppose.
Well, yeah, and then we get the this was all just a ploy to draw out the Outsiders, and that Duke and I'm not calling him the Signal, and Orphan are left back to a surprise attack from the one guy,
Ishmael.
the last one, Ishmael. There we go.
Ishmael shows up and
yeah.
attacks them. Yeah, which is
Yeah,
a cliffhanger.
And I basically love that Orphan's like, get behind me. Like, I like that. I love Cass so much.
Yeah.
So nothing bad better happened to her. I saw it in the Solicits this time around. It seemed very foreboding. I don't like that. So.
And the other thing I'll mention, this is a really quick read, but it was also beautiful. The art from Dexter Soy is fantastic throughout, and made it a very pleasant, action issue.
Yeah, his art to me is better when it's in motion than when there's people standing around. So it really, the writer Hill, really wrote to the artist's strengths in this one. I feel.
Yeah, it's funny because we said I remember last issue being a lot more like just the preppy issue, so there was a lot more standing around and talking. I think this issue clearly, like, this is the sort of thing when you read it in trade, it'll probably flow really well because it's just month to month. It was like last issue was all the prep, and then this issue was all the action. So, no, I had fun with this. I'm still digging it. What are you giving it, Matt?
I'm going to give this one an 8.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. So there you go. So that's Batman the Outsiders issue 5. That'll take Matt on to Wonder Twins issue 7 because Cara didn't have time, and I actually, so I missed the last issue, and that's why I've not read issue 7. Yep. I did read issue 6. I squeezed that issue 6 just before we were going to record, but I did not have time to actually read this week's issue. So I'm oddly caught up, but not with this one. With this particular,
so you're not caught up.
So I'm not caught up. I was caught up for seconds, and then I was immediately behind again. But I still plan to catch it up. But anyway, Matt, Wonder Twins issue 7, Mark Russell writing with Stephen Byrne on the art.
Yeah. So number one, art's still fantastic. Byrne's consistent throughout. This, I don't want to feel like this felt like a what's the word? I don't want to say a holdover or it's not like a holding pattern issue because. Remember, this got extended, and so it was just supposed to be 1 through 6. I kind of feel in this one, Russell was like, well, I told the story I wanted to next time. Now I have to set up another one, but I need like a bridge issue. And this is very much that bridge issue because it catches you up on what happened in the last arc, and it deals with the fallout that Jaina basically feels guilty for sending her best friend to jail for what Polymath did. And that she's kind of like, well, what's the point anymore? And because they did so well on their mission, Zan and Jaina basically get downgraded from Justice League members to Hall of Justice tour guides, something which Zan loves because, that's the type of person he is. But Jaina just kind of feels like her life doesn't have meaning. And so she gets talking to Superman, and he gives her this kind of pep talk towards the end. But what leads to her getting the pep talk is a hockey team called the Ice Cubes, who is a hockey fan. That's a terrible name for a team. Right? You want the Blades or something. But they end up winning basically the Stanley Cup. And the fans go into a riot because they're so happy. They end up causing all this chaos. While that's going on, the Justice League is out. They have to go deal with this meteor that's going to impact the Earth. And, of course, the news reports on it, which then stirs up the people even more from the riot. And so that leaves them to Zan and Jaina as the people to have to deal with this because the Justice League's off-world. But there's a Fort McNair, which is a hermetically sealed bunker they go to. So there's this guy that basically his power is that he smells real bad. And his name's Repulso. And they keep him. He's all lonely. Nobody wants to be around him. And they bring him out with gas masks. They hook him up to this crane and they send him, they hang him over the city to disperse the crowd. But because they're all so wound up from the comet and stuff, they end up throwing stuff at him, And well, no, first they disperse them. I had to go back over it. First they disperse them from the riot, and that all works out well. And then when this comet comes up, that's when they all get whipped up again. So they go to bring him out, but because they're whipped up even more, they start throwing stuff at him, and they end up destroying like the crane that he's on. So he ends up dropping into the crowd. So Zan and Jaina are like, "Oh, this is a job for the Wonder Twins." So they activate, they go, but he smells so bad that even Zan in his water form is affected by it. But Jaina, who took the form of like this giant ant, like from them, they don't have an olfactory system, right? There's different, so she can get close to him, and she ends up saving Repulso. And then that's where Superman and the Justice League show up, and it's the Trinity, it's Wonder Woman and Batman, and they show up and it's like, guys, what are you doing? And this guy confronts them, and he's like, well, no, you guys left us when when a meteor was going to strike, and to fend for ourselves, what did you expect? And Superman's like, dude, where'd you think we went? This happens all the time. The news just doesn't report on it. The reason that we haven't been taken out by meteor strikes more is because of the Justice League. And you look around, and this is what you do? And so that calms them down, and this is where Superman gives Jaina the pep talk that she's just like, well, I feel useless because I lost my best friend, and this is supposed to be my reward for doing good. And Superman's like, well, you don't do this because you want to be rewarded. You do it because you feel like you should. Maybe if you feel that way, maybe heroing's not for you. And it cuts to Repulso, who throughout the issue tries to get his handlers to play this. It's called Stratino or Strategno. It's supposed to be like Stratego. And nobody wants to play with him. And so after the stirring speech from Superman, that, he tells her, it's only when life is wrecking you and nothing is going the way it should, that the universe lets you stand on your own 2 feet for a moment and think. And that's where she goes to that fort, and she takes the form of the ant to go play Strategno with Repulso. And then to be continued. So, but it was a real nice little bridge issue, and it's Jaina coming into her own as a hero for, because for Zan, he's just like, whatever. He's kind of, I don't want to call him a dumb guy, but that's kind of just what he is. And he's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. But it was a really nice heartfelt issue there with that, and the hockey fans moment really cracked me up because Wonder Woman's like, why are they doing this? And Superman's kind of like, because they're hockey fans, like that's what they do. They get excited and destroy things. And again, I felt hurt at that moment. So
a lot of relatability from Matt this week, apparently.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, pretty good. It's not the best. Like, it definitely feels like he's gonna build more. Almost like season 2 got picked up and put in production quicker than he was expecting. So, but the Byrne art doesn't suffer at all. It's all real there. Zan takes the form of a rain cloud. So it's basically just a rain cloud with his face on it. And he's even complaining about the smell. He's like, I didn't know I would still be able to smell stuff as a cloud. So, but yeah, it's very good. I'm going to give it an 8. It was that good.
All right, then I'll take you guys on to Hawkman issue 16, Robert Venditti writing with Patrick Olliffe on the art.
Yeah, basically the issue where Hawkman fights a giant shadow dragon.
Yeah,
nothing else.
That's
matters.
Dope. No, that was cool. And seeing the first time the Shade and Hawkman met back in the 40s.
The 40s, yeah.
Fighting Gentleman Ghost, which made me realize a lot of Hawkman's villains are thieves. Shadow Thief, Gentleman Ghost, the Shade. Even though it's not really a thief or a villain, he is a thief. He's a gentleman thief. Yeah. So I thought that's pretty funny because he's the museum curator guy.
Yeah.
Like you said, he fights a shadow dragon in the Shadow Realm, and that's super cool. I did not like the art in this one. It's way too sketchy. Yeah.
I like it because it's in the Shadow Realm.
And I get that.
Shadowlands, whatever it's called.
Yeah. It was definitely hard for me to make out some of the things sometimes. And the guy did the art last time, right?
Yeah, he's been on this since start of the arc.
Yeah, so that didn't bother me. Here, definitely, maybe it's the inker. Maybe they are going for that darker, shadowier tone.
I think it's a lot scratchier and darker, and I think the color palette as well. There's a lot more blacks and purples.
Yeah, so did not enjoy the art, but the content of the art I think was fine. Again, you put Hawkman fighting a dragon. Hard for me to be mad about that. We also got the because they're in the Shadow Realm, and the Shade's trying to get them to obey, but they're not, because they don't respect his authority anymore, because he doesn't have his shadow. So they form from all of these, like, I guess they're like orcs, right? Like shadow orc kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of like just people shadows is kind of what they look like.
Yeah, but they have like
kind of treat them like zombies almost.
Yeah, but they all form into this dragon, and they give him something to hit. And that was all cool, but what I liked more was we'd heard how much the Shade doesn't like that cane because it's tacky, and we find out that he got that cane from Carter as a thank you for helping with Gentleman Ghost.
Yeah,
and that their relationship will always be based upon honor and respect, and so here that's why he's on this mission. Not just because Shadow Thief stole his soul, or his shadow.
Yeah.
Because
they kind of have this begrudging partnership.
Yeah.
But no, I really like the two of them together, and he's always very concerned. It's like, hey, Carter, you're a bit angry these days. Maybe cool down a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe don't just fly in and hit shit with your mace.
But that's the way to handle things.
I don't disagree. I mean, if you've got a cool flying mace.
Right. And so here, I'm. Should I spoil the last of the? Because this is where I think this is coming into play. Now that I got the solicits. So. Do we want to do that? Do we want to edit this out? So the last of the Secret Six from Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
Now I see this. Now that I got the solicits, I thought it was because Hawkman he lost a shadow, and that's pulling him out of, pulling him back closer to the dark multiverse where he was the dragon and whatnot. But I definitely think this is the first signs that he's not exactly right.
Yeah, there's the final page is he's like, right, I beat the dragon, screw this, I'm just going to get Shadow Thief. I'm taking our shadows back.
Yep.
And he crashes in through the window, and he has this demented grin.
Yep.
Of like, right, let's just do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of great.
Yeah. But so yeah, it was decent. The art was a hold up for me, but again,
I liked it a lot more.
Yeah, well, you did. That's fine. I still enjoyed the issue though. If I'm rating it, I'm giving it a 7.5.
I'm gonna go with an 8.5 because fighting a shadow dragon. What more can I ask for?
Yeah. All
right, that was quick.
We're gonna fly now
because we're all hungry. That's why. We're getting to the end.
Yeah. It's actually a fairly quick read of an issue, to be fair.
It was. I flew through that one too.
I was legitimately looking up where I'm going to order food from while you were talking there. That takes us to the last book of the week, which Matt read, which is Riddler, Year the Villain, issue 1. Mark Russell writing with Scott Godlewski on the art.
Yeah. So Mark Russell's a master of these types of issues. Now I realize after that Sinestro one, this is a completely different tone, and it's Riddler's meeting up. It opens with them. He's at this Egyptian cafe that's super gaudy, and he's talking to King Tut, which I think that's great because King Tut was one of the few Bat villains that premiered on the 66 show, and slowly made his way into comics. And here's a kind of a new version, but they're commiserating with each other because neither of them got the offer from Luthor. And this really just throws Riddler in a tailspin because he's like, what am I doing with my life if I'm not, good, if I'm not seen by Luthor as good enough to get one of these boxes? And King Tut's like, oh, well, we just got to go at Batman harder. I think if we team up on our puzzles, then we'll it'll work out. Batman won't know what hit him. So we'll do a whole thing where it's Egyptian themed, and then right before he has to choose between these two different pathways, you'll pull the rug out from under him and drop him into one of your riddles, and that'll be the end of Batman. So Riddler agrees to it, and you see the last time King Tut had done this, and that's the reason why Luthor hadn't sent him a box, is he had set up 2 doors that Batman would have to choose between. One was King Tut and one was a tiger, and the tiger roars behind door 1 and gives it away, right? So he doesn't, he's not the best puzzle guy, which is why he runs a restaurant. Which this leads Riddler to go home and basically feel sorry for himself. And when he gets there, Apex Lex is waiting for him. And he kind of just makes fun of him. He's like, your whole life you've been trying to be the Riddler. And he holds up this trophy from his childhood. And it's from like a class that you see he comes from a rough upbringing, and that school was his escape. And, he really shined there. And that's when he decided to become the Riddler that young. And he ends up going back with King Tut, and they send the clue to Batman, and Batman's with the Gotham City Police Force, and he's talking with Gordon. He's like, "Oh, it's King Tut. Give me a half hour, 45 minutes. I'll have this situated." And the cops have just ordered the pizza. It's like, "Oh, well, we'll save you a few slices, Batman. Still should be hot by the time you get there." So Batman goes through it, and it's all Egyptian themed, and he has to be weighed by Anubis, so it's this big gigantic scale. Like, it's very Silver Age Batman. And of course he gets there, and as Riddler's hiding in the sarcophagus to open the door on Batman, he starts to think about what Lex told him and how pathetic he is. And he doesn't perform his task, and Batman easily takes out King Tut. And then Riddler leaves, and on his way out, he's like, I think I need a fresh start. I think it's time for me not to be the Riddler anymore. And, I've been on here saying that Riddler was one of my favorite Bat villains for like the longest time, but I couldn't really figure out why. And it turns out I just really liked the Paul Dini version when he was a detective and he was a private investigator and trying to prove he's better than Batman. And this basically addressed all those things. It's like, well, why is the Riddler a A-level villain when all he does is leave riddles for Batman to defeat him? So if this does stick after Year of the Villain, I hope this leads to a different version of Riddler. If not, it's a really nice story that Riddler gets to self-reflect on why he even does all this. And, at a certain point, he opens up his shirt, and you can see the question mark from where Jokes and Riddle carved onto his chest and whatnot. And yeah, but man, Mark Russell really with kind of the thinkers lately. And the art's pretty good. Like it's nothing like special, but it handles like the silliness real well. It's kind of like Byrne with Wonder Twins. To where, you get to that big, huge, scale with crocodiles underneath it and whatnot. And it looks silly. And I was going through it again. But there's a story that Lex tells Riddler about living in Smallville. There was a guy that lived next door to him, and his name was Dale. He was obsessed with tornadoes. And the tornadoes that hit Smallville were never that huge, but he basically lost his family only focusing on creating this tornado box. And then finally one day the big tornado hit and it destroyed his house. But as it destroyed his house, it started a fire, and Dale got cooked alive in his impenetrable tornado box. And so he basically compares that to Riddler. Is you've created this box of being the Riddler, and you're cooking yourself alive in it. And then he goes, well, aren't you going to, give me something, a gift? And Joker. Why is Joker on my mind? It's the second time I've done this, talking about this issue. It must be the greens and the purples, right, between Riddler and Lex. But he just goes, I just gave you the gift. So yeah, it was a whole lot. I do recommend it, even though I just gave everything away. Definitely go back and read it if you guys have time, because it is one of these that if it does land and this goes forward, it's definitely the issue that signaled a new joke, or God damn it, do it again, a new Riddler. So, yeah, I'm gonna give this a 9. That's how much I enjoyed it. It was that good.
All right, excellent. That was the last book though, so that is the part of the show where we pick our favorites of the week. We do our favorite panel / moment. We do our favorite cover, favorite art, and of course top 5 books of the week. So to kick off, we'll start with panel / moment. Matt, what you got?
Oh, it's easy. It's the last page of Leviathan. The other detectives. So good.
Yeah, Connor.
I'm gonna go with From Hawkman, where the shadows form into the dragon, and it's that big 2-page spread reveal. That was pretty great.
Cool. I think I want to go with Leviathan, but I think I want to go with when Plastic Man just sort of like jumps onto Superman's back and says, "Take me with you," and he's like,
Yeah.
"I'll go pretty fast." He's like, "You know I could take it." I'll go with that.
That's pretty good.
That's my favorite exchange of the week. All right, favorite cover, Matt.
It's the Flash variant. I'm just looking at it, and it's got all the energy around him, all the speed force. It's it's an artist that I'm not that familiar with.
I'm not a big fan of that, actually.
Paolo Pantalena. I like it.
I don't like the shape of his chest into his stomach area.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Kinda
It was out at
distracting,
Event
so it's
Leviathan,
weird.
and I wanted to change it up. So
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Event Leviathan variant, the Carrie Andrews
cool.
cover.
That's pretty nice.
Very, very nice cover. Connor?
I'm gonna go with the Hawkman variant.
yeah,
pretty
that was
nice.
good too.
All right, Matt, what's your favorite art of the week?
Oh, Maleev in Leviathan, easy. And I'm going to change my cover here because I didn't see this till just now.
Okay.
But the Frisian Wonder Woman, with her missing the bracelet,
That's nice. Yeah.
that's my cover. Get rid of the Flash. It's Wonder Woman.
All right. All right, fair enough.
But yeah, Maleev with the hands down. Young Justice though should get a shout out. I really like the Tim art there.
I think Young Justice, Batman and the Outsiders are both really solid picks for me, but Maleev wins with
Yeah.
And obviously Batman had good art as well. Actually, that we're talking about it. So some really good. Even though Wonder Woman was underwhelming with art wise, and Flash wasn't exactly hitting out the park, there was a lot of good art this week. So no, Maleev for me as well. Connor.
I'm actually gonna go with Clayman for Batman.
Yeah.
Out of the
Hard to
4
argue.
that I read, it was easily the best.
Yeah,
Hard to argue there.
That's fair. All right, so top 5 books, Matt. Go.
So number 1 is Leviathan. Number 2 is Riddler. Number 3 is Young Justice. Number 4 is So I have to make decisions and remember what I created things. Number 4 is Batman and the Outsiders, and number 5 is Wonder Twins.
Go, Connor.
But it's Hawkman and then Wonder Woman,
Okay.
and then I don't know. It's a toss up between Flash and Batman, which way around it goes, isn't it? I mean, I'll give it to Batman just because of the art.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 1 is probably Young Justice, actually.
Oh, wow.
No, actually, not what I'm talking about. No, Event Leviathan. I forget about Leviathan. Leviathan,
Yeah, I was going to say.
and then Young Justice is number 2. And then number 3 is Batman and the Outsiders. Number 4 is Wonder Woman. And number 5 is probably... What's that? Flash or Batman? I'm just... I guess I'll go with Flash. I'll go with Flash. All right, there you go. That's my top 5. I did remember to ask on Twitter about the guys.
Yeah, you did.
The world's favorite picks of the week.
How late did you remember?
It was quite late. It was only a couple hours before we started recording. But hey, I got a couple of responses to read out for you. At Ryan Fail or Fally, gotta be Event Leviathan number 4. Batman was okay, but kind of felt like a filler book. Gotham City Monsters was a nice surprise. So you got that there. At Comb Factor says Batman 78 was my favourite. Oh, interesting counter pick to us. I'm a sucker for Batcat romance. The Riddler one shot and Event Leviathan are a close second and third. Gotham City Monsters looks promising. Also, Detective Comics wasn't too bad this week. Hawkman was as good as always. I might be dropping Outsiders. So that was a nice comprehensive list. At Tufty _ W23, aka James, who might have been mentioned, just said collapse on number 3. All other answers need not apply. So he being him usual self. And if I recall correctly, you did kind of promise to remember talking Superman's pick because he said it himself earlier in the week.
It was definitely Event Leviathan for him. So said that the art alone, he had never seen Superman's powers like for his sight done in that way with the colors and the way the art was, and just what it means going forward for the DCU. So
there was a Superman related thing you say that got him on board.
Weird,
what a
right?
Shock. So that leads me to tell you what's coming next week from DC Comics. We have Aquaman 52. We have in 52. I mean, come on, it's an important number, people. We have Batman 79. We have Flash Forward issue 1, which
nope.
I might read the first one.
The poll that I am going against it right now is what Barry must feel with the Black Flash. Right? Like, I don't want to, but it's my favorite Flash. But it's my least favorite writer. But it's great art.
I could read that, or I could read one of the books I didn't get a chance to read this week instead.
Oh, wait, I forgot who's doing the art. Oh, Hard Pass.
Yeah, it's Brett Booth.
With Shayna covers. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it's Shayna on the covers, which is it's this really misleading little thing.
I put it out of my brain so hard that I forgot it's Lobdell and Booth. I made that mistake in 2011. Not again.
Never again.
We have Inferior 5 issue 1, the sequel, the 12 issue sequel to Invasion, is starting next week.
I'm kind of looking forward to this.
It's intriguing. I'm intrigued by it. We got Lex Luthor Year of the Villain one shot. We have Nightwing 64, Supergirl 34, Superman 15, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. There's a lot of Superman related books next week.
Yeah.
Teen Titans 34 is out as well, of course, as is the Titans Burning Rage issue 2. That's the second of the reprints of the Walmart specials. And Wonder Woman Come Back to Me is number 3 of, again, the Walmart special reprints.
There's also Justice League 32, which he just skipped right over.
Did I?
Yep. You did. Also, the Lex Luthor Year of the Villain is written by Jason Latour. So that should be interesting.
Pitch on art.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what's coming next week on the show. At least all the ones we read anyway. Obviously, a couple of there will not be appearing on the show because we don't talk about them because we don't read them. But that's what's coming next week. So by all means, let us know what you thought of the books in the comments. This has been episode 17. Oh, I've forgotten. 2. I want to say. That's 172 of the show. Yeah. So you can let us know what you thought of the books, the comments. Like and subscribe. You can support us in a couple of different ways. The free way to support us is to rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Like and subscribe on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. You can support those financially by going to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. We can support us for as little as $1 per month and help keep all the content coming. Not just the comics podcast, but also all the movie podcasts that we do and the TV reviews and everything else that happens. So go and have a look at all the other stuff that we do. Some of it may be relevant and of interest to you. You can hear me and Tim talk about horror movies on Screams After Midnight every week. In fact, next month for the Octoberthon 2019, you can hear me and Tim talk about horror movies every day.
If you're a patron.
Well, I thought you guys were, as a joke, not doing it this year.
No,
and then never coming back until you do.
That was Tim cracking a joke in the chat. That was not...
But I saw it on Twitter, so that means it's official.
No, you saw me show everyone how much of an idiot he is on Twitter. That is not the same thing as it being confirmed. Thank you very much.
It did feel a little bit like an announcement. Like a public statement.
Not to worry, our schedule is packed. We are recording tomorrow. So look forward to lots of horror movie reviews. But that is us. That has been Comics for the Multiverse. This has been a lengthy one, thanks to a lot of books and a lot of solicits and everything else. But we will see you next time. So keep reading DC Comics, and always remember to never get lost in the Speed Force.
And long live the Legion.